Welcome to newcomers, and welcome back to seasoned veterans of movie readings. This is a channel where I turn scripts or screenplays into audio format. If you enjoy this, please join the less than 5% of my viewers that end up subscribing. Check out my other videos to see if there's something else that interests you. Without further ado, 12 Monkeys, a screenplay by David and Janet Peoples. Close on a face, a 9-year-old boy, young Cole, his eyes wide with wonder, watching something intently. We hear the sounds of the PA system droning flight information, mingled with the sounds of urgent shouts, running feet, and exclamations. Young Cole's point of view. 20 yards away, a blond man is sprawled on the floor, blood oozing from his gaudy Hawaiian shirt. A brunette in a tight dress, her face obscured from young Cole's view, rushes to the injured man, kneels behind him, ministering to his wound. We angle on young Cole, flanked by his parents, their face out of view as they steer him away. "Come on, son, this is no place for us." Young Cole resists momentarily, mesmerized by the drama. From his point of view, intermittently visible through a confusion of figures rushing through the foreground, the blond man reaches up and touches the cheek of the kneeling brunette in a gesture of enormous tenderness, a gesture of farewell, while the PA system continues in its monotonous monotone. "Flight 784 for San Francisco is now ready for boarding at inmate number 66578, Greeley." We cut to a prison dormitory sometime in the future. Eternal night. "Number 5429, Garcia. Number 87645, Cole." Cole, late 30s, dark hair, comes awake in a bunk cage, one of many, stacked 4 high, along both sides of a long, dim corridor. He blinks in the near dark, shaken, disoriented. Then, as he recovers from his very vivid dream, we get our first look at his environment. A windowless underground world of eternal night, sometime in the future, an almost colorless reality of blurred edges and echoey sounds, much more dreamlike than his dream was. Flashlights glare. In the half-light, Cole sees spooky figures, guards, moving along the locked bunk cages. Cole turns and whispers to the occupant in the next cage, Jose. "Sst! Jose! What's going on?" Jose's face is almost lost in shadow. What there is of it is youthful. He's just a scared Puerto Rican kid. "Volunteers again." Jose immediately rolls over and feigns sleep as Scarface, a menacing guard with a jagged scar running down his cheek, looms close to Cole's cage and unlocks it. "Volunteer duty." The prisoners in the other cages watch silently with narrow eyes. "I didn't volunteer." "You causing trouble again?" Cole controls his temper. "No trouble." Cole is alone in an equipment room, struggling to get on what looks like a spacesuit, in a room where suits hang like ghosts with blank eyes. Cole has the torso of the suit on, and he's now trying to close it. "All openings must be closed." Cole looks for the source of the voice, a tiny grate in the wall. "If the integrity of the suit is compromised in any way, if the fabric is torn or a zipper not closed, readmittance will be denied." Cole, wearing a spacesuit and a helmet with a plastic visor, steps into a tiny chamber, a kind of airlock. The heavy door clangs shut behind him. He's alone. Cole's breath comes quicker now as he sucks oxygen from an air tank on his back. On the opposite wall is another door with a huge wheel lock. Cole turns the heavy wheel, opens the door, and steps through it. Cole is in an ascending elevator that groans and creaks. He looks down at the crudely drawn map he holds in his gloved hand. The map shows a series of tunnels and ladders. Cole pans a flashlight, probing the filthy sewer he's wading through. Rats flee the blade of light, scurrying across islands of rusting junk. The flashlight beam settles on a ladder mounted in the wall. Reaching the rusted ladder, Cole starts to climb awkwardly. A scraping noise comes from the street as a heavy manhole cover is pushed up and moved aside. Cole's helmeted head emerges from below. Cole's point of view through his plastic visored helmet, a city in moonlight. A surreal image of abandoned buildings, no people anywhere. The only sounds are the wind and Cole's breathing. Cole's light reveals abandoned vine-colored automobiles. Moving to the nearest car, Cole searches in the vines for something. He finds it, an insect. He takes the bug in his gloved hand. He clumsily inserts it into a collection tube. Something makes him turn. There's something across the street in the dark. Something alive. Cole points his flashlight and reveals a bear. Startled by the light, the animal blinks, then stands on its rear legs and roars. Angle on Cole, staring wide-eyed. Then the bear sinks down onto all fours, trying to avoid the flashlight. It pads quickly down the street. Using the flashlight to see, Cole reaches down to the cracked floor in a subterranean parking garage and gets another specimen. This time, dog shit. The only sound is Cole's labored breathing. Then, a different sound. A dog. Grrr. More dogs, and then a yip, and then vicious growls. It's a dogfight. A giant owl perched on an overhead traffic light raises its wings and lifts off, rising higher and higher into the brightening sky. Below, on the street, Cole trudges along, passing deserted buildings, windows broken, rusted signs dangling. Cole's light reveals a spiderweb just inside a department store. A large spider tries to hide from the light. He reaches carefully into the web and plucks the spider, putting it into one of his specimen tubes. Then he shines his light all around the once elegant store. There's nothing but aisle after aisle of moldering consumer goods. As Cole comes out of the store, the first rays of sun hit the building. Cole stops and squints into the light through his visor. Spray painted on the wall, a long time ago, is a stenciled logo of 12 monkeys holding hands in a circle. Over it is written, "We did it." Cole looks up. High up on the building across the street, a lion patrols a ledge, pauses, and looks out majestically over his world. Roaring water, powerful torrents gushing from nozzles in the wall, pummel the still-suited Cole. Back underground, in the decontamination chamber. Stark naked and shivering, Cole is being scrubbed with brushes on long poles, the ones used to wash cars, wielded by two hulking figures in bulky decontamination suits, their personas lost in their windowed masks. It's a grim scene in a grim cement room, filled with damp, dripping walls. From an unseen source comes an amplified voice. "Raise your arms above your head." Cole lifts his arm, and figures start scrubbing his armpits. Still naked, Cole is seated on a stool, while a masked technician in a less elaborate, less bulky decontamination outfit draws blood from Cole's arm with an old-fashioned hypodermic needle. Cole glances towards a single, nearly opaque window of thick plastic in the rusty iron wall. Vague figures seem to lurk behind the translucent aperture, studying him. The technicians slip the blood sample through a slot in the wall. Ushered in by 2 guards, Tiny and Scarface, Cole looks around the engineering office. Whales hidden by old headlines, articles, maps, charts, a blackboard covered with elaborate, sophisticated formulas. Surfaces heaped with cracked monitors, jerry-rigged computers held together with string, lasers lost in tangles of cable, ancient tube amplifiers, a dilapidated cardboard reconstruction of a city, stacks of moldering books and tattered computer printouts, and seated at a long conference table, staring at Cole, are 6 scientists. Astrophysicist, engineer, botanist, microbiologist, zoologist, and a geologist. They represent a modern science where brilliant new ideas interfere with crude, outdated, patched-together technologies. James Cole, cleared from quarantine. Thank you. You two wait outside. He's got a history, Doctor. Violence. Cole's eyes return to the walls. The headlines say, clock ticking, no cure yet. Antisocial 6, doing 25 to life. I don't think he'll hurt us. You're not going to hurt us, are you, Mr. Cole? Cole's head turns quickly to the engineer. No, sir. The guards exchange a look, shrug, exit, and close the door. Why don't you sit down, Mr. Cole? Cole goes to the empty chair at the conference table and sits down. We want you to tell us about last night. I went to the surface and I collected specimens like I was told. The scientists don't say anything. They just study him carefully. Oh, I mashed the spider, didn't I? We'll get to the spider later, Mr. Cole. Right now, we want to know everything that you saw. Cole, starting to look very tired now, an hour later, stands at the blackboard, sketching a detailed map of exactly where he was last night. Where you collected sample number 4. What street was that? It's important to observe everything. I think it was 2nd Street, I'm sure. As the scientists start to whisper animatedly among themselves, Cole's eyes drift across a newspaper clipping taped to the wall. One headline says, Virus mutating. Another features an old man, Dr. Mason. We will see him again later on. And the words, Scientist says it's too late for a cure. Close your eyes, Cole. Cole closes his eyes obediently. Blackness. Like Cole, we see nothing, but we hear their voices. Tell us in detail what you've seen in this room. This room? How many of us are there? 6. 7 if you count me. Tell us about the pictures on the wall. You mean the newspapers. Tell us about the newspapers. Can you hear my voice? What do I look like? What does he look like? The man who just spoke. How old were you when you left the surface? The voices blur into a cacophony and fade into the drowning PA system at the airport. We're in the dream again, but at an earlier moment. Young Cole, flanked by his parents, whose faces are out of view, is watching a plane land through one of the big glass windows that lines the concourse leading to the departure gates. Flight 784 now boarding at the gate. Suddenly a shout, followed by raised voices, interrupts the monotonous airport routine. As young Cole and his parents turn to see what's going on, a man we'll call Mr. Ponytail, his face averted, hurries past them, bumping young Cole with the Chicago Hulls sports duffel bag. Watch it! Young Cole sees little more than the gaudy pants, the duffel, the man's ponytail flopping as he rushes toward the gate. Just then, a woman's voice cries out, "No!" Young Cole turns back toward the security checkpoint, just as the travelers scatter madly, some diving to the floor, others running. A terrified traveler, hitting the floor close by, looks up at young Cole with panicky eyes and asks, "Just exactly why did you volunteer?" Cole becomes abruptly awake. Seated now, he's facing the scientists. "Wake up, Cole." "Oh, I didn't hear the..." "I asked you, why did you volunteer?" Tapping a pencil on the table. "Well, the guard woke me up. He told me I volunteered." The scientists react, whispering urgently among themselves. Cole starts to nod off again, and then comes awake with a start as the engineer speaks to him. "We appreciate you volunteering. You're a very good observer, Cole." Thank you." "You'll get a reduction in sentence." Cole keeps his face impassive. "To be determined by the proper authorities." "You don't want to jeopardize that reduction, do you, Cole? Have it taken away?" "No, sir. We have a very advanced program, something very different, requiring very skilled people. An opportunity to reduce your sentence considerably, and possibly play an important role in returning the human race to the surface of the earth. We want tough-minded people, strong mentally. We've had some misfortunes with unstable types. For a man in your position, an opportunity. Not to volunteer could be a real mistake." Tapping his pencil again. "Definitely a mistake." Cole gives nothing away. He's in a box here. He has no choice. He stares at the tapping pencil. A striking real world of brilliant colors in an art gallery. Extravagant paintings adorn the wall. A poet, tiny and ruddy-faced, squints over his glasses as he reads in a booming voice to an audience of 30 seated on folding chairs. "Still among the myriad microwaves, the infrared messages, the gigabytes of ones and zeros, we find words, infinitesimally small, bite-sized now, tinier even than science, lurking in some vague electricity where, if we listen, we can hear the solitary voice of that poet telling us, we are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go, round with the sun-illuminated lantern, holed in midnight by the master of the show." As the poet reads, we study the audience, mostly yuppie culture junkies or bohemians. Among them, a light-haired woman of 28, soberly dressed, wearing glasses. She is Catherine Raleigh, and it's her beeper that suddenly beeps. Beep, beep, beep. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Nor all your piety, nor writ shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. Beep, beep. Scowling at the outrageous interruption, the poet looks up from the text just as Raleigh, tumbling, shuts off the beeper, rises, embarrassed. As she makes her way to an exit, the glaring poet continues. Yesterday this day's madness did prepare, tomorrow's silence, triumph, or despair. Drink, for you know not whence you came nor why. Drink, for you know not why you go nor where. Detective Frankly leads Raleigh past crowded holding cells. So they get here, and they ask the guy real nice for some ID. And he gets agitated, starts screaming about viruses. Totally irrational, totally disoriented, doesn't know where he is, what day it is, all that stuff. All they got was his name. They figured he's stoned out of his mind, some kind of psychotic episode, so they're gonna bring him. He's been tested for drugs? Negative for drugs, but he took on 5 cops like he was dusted to the eyeballs. No drugs, you believe that? Frankie pauses. indicating a tiny observation window of thick meshed glass in an otherwise solid door. Raleigh looks through it. Raleigh's point of view through the window. A man, his back to her, in a straitjacket and prison denims, examining the wall of the padded cell with the distorted intensity of a mental case. You have him in restraints? Were you listening? We got 2 officers in the hospital. Yeah, he's in restraints. Plus, the medic gave him enough stelazine to kill a horse. Look at him. He's still on his feet. Raleigh's point of view through the window. The man in the cell turns and looks right at her. In spite of the cuts and welts, it's clearly Cole. That would explain the bruises, I guess, the struggle. You want to go in? Examine him? Yes, please. You said he gave a name? He unlocks the door. James Cole. That's everything we got. None of the James Coles on the computer match him. No license, no prints, no warrants, nothing. You want me to go in with you? No thanks. I'll be right here just in case. Cole stares at Raleigh. The environment is intensely real. Vivid colors, each sound, however slight, very distinct and almost loud. Yet she appears to him almost like a vision. Mr. Cole, my name is Dr. Raleigh. I'm a psychiatrist. I work for the county. I don't work for the police. My only concern is your well-being. Do you understand? I need to go now. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't make the police let you go, but I do want to help you, and I want you to trust me. Can you do that, James? May I call you James? James? Nobody ever calls me that. She frowns and studies him. Have I seen you someplace? Have you been a patient at county? No, not possible. Listen, I have to get out of here. I'm supposed to be getting information. What kind of information? It won't help you. You can't do anything about it. You can't change anything. Change what? I need to go. Do you know why you're here, James? Because I'm a good observer. Because I have a tough mind. I see. You don't remember assaulting a police officer or several officers? They wanted identification. I don't have any identification. I wasn't trying to hurt them. You don't have a driver's license, James? Or a social security card? No. Why not? Most people have some ID. You wouldn't understand. You've been in an institution, haven't you, James? A hospital? I have to go. A jail? A prison? Underground. Hiding? I love this air. This is wonderful air. What's wonderful about the air, James? It's so clean. No germs. You're afraid of germs? I have to go. Why do you think there aren't any germs in the air, James? This is April, right? July. July? Do you know what year it is? What year is it? What year do you think it is? 1995. You think it's July of 1995? That's the future, James. Do you think you're living in the future? No, 1995 is the past. 1995 is the future, James. This is 1989. Cole looks stunned. Now in the police station corridor, Cole is bound tightly by the straitjacket. Heavy manacles on his ankles. He's being escorted down the corridor by 2 surly policemen. Where are you taking me? South of France, buddy. Fancy hotel. You're gonna love it. South of France? I don't want to go to the south of France. I want to make a telephone call. Policeman number 2 smirks as he unlocks a heavy steel door. Zip it, scumbag. You fooled the shrink with your act, but you don't fool us. Then, Policeman 2 swings the steel door open and sunlight overwhelms Cole, blinding him in a dazzling fury of white light. A minivan, the kind of vehicle used to transport half a dozen prisoners, crawls through a busy street. The police department logo is prominent on the side of the van beneath barred windows. In a county hospital showers, Fierce spray recalls the decontamination in the future. Cole stands stark naked under the shower while two muscular attendants, Palmer and Billings, supervise. As Palmer shuts off the water, Billings hands Cole a towel and starts inspecting his scalp. "Let me see your head, Jimbo. See if you got any creepy crawlies." "I need to make a phone call." Billings pulling Cole's head. "Gotta work that out with the doctor, Jimbo. Can't make no calls till the doctor says. It's very important. What you gotta do, Jimbo, is take it easy. Relax into things. We all get along fine if you just relax." Cole gets the hint of menace in the message and submits to the lice inspection, only his eyes revealing his frustration. Cole stands in the doorway of a hospital day room, stunned by his first sight of the large room. His eyes go to the heavily grilled windows where light pours in from the outside, to the TV where a cartoon commercial makes raucous noises. Patients in Kmart street clothes or ratty robes stare gloomily at the TV or play cards. They pace or they just stare blankly. Billings is at Cole's side, beckoning to a patient, Jeffrey Mason, a 20-year-old white youth dressed in khakis and a plaid shirt. "Jeffrey, yo, Jeffrey, this here's James. Why don't you show James around? Tell him the TV rules. Show him the games and stuff, okay?" "How much you gonna pay me, huh? I'd be doing your job." $5,000, my man. That's enough? I'll wire it into your account as usual, okay?" "Okay, Billings, 5,000. That's enough. $5,000. I'll give him the deluxe mental hospital tour." As Billings walks away chuckling, Jeffrey turns to Cole. Kids around. Makes him feel good, we're all pals. We're prisoners. They're the guards. But it's all in good fun, you see?" Cole nods, and Jeffrey indicates card tables where patients are playing cards, checkers, chess, or working on jigsaw puzzles. "Here's the games. Games vegetize you. If you play the games, you're voluntarily taking a tranquilizer." Cole sees a partially completed puzzle of a well-known painting, The Peaceable Kingdom, depicting a serene world of animals in harmony. "What do they give you? Thorazine? How much? Learn your drugs. Know your doses." "I need to make a phone call." "Telephone call? That's communication with the outside world. Doctor's discretion. Hey, if all these nuts could just make phone calls, it could spread. Insanity oozing through telephone cables, oozing into all the ears of the poor sane people, infecting them. Wackos everywhere, a plague of madness. Suddenly sly and confidential. In fact, very few of us here are actually mentally ill. I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as a loon. But that's not why you're here. You're here because of the system, because of the economy. That's the TV. It's all right there. Commercials. We are not productive anymore. They don't need us to make things anymore. It's all automated. What are we for then? We're consumers. Okay, buy a lot of stuff, you're a good citizen. But if you don't buy a lot of stuff, you know what? You're mentally ill. That's a fact. If you don't buy things, toilet paper, new cars, computerized blenders, electronically operated sexual devices, screwdrivers with miniature built-in radar devices, stereo systems with brain-implanted headphones, voice-activated computers, and... A woman orderly, Terry, turns from the feeble patient she's helping. "Take it easy, Jeffrey. Be calm." Abruptly, Jeffrey stifles his hysteria. He takes a deep breath and continues, completely calm now. But Cole isn't listening. He's mesmerized by the TV. "So if you want to watch a particular program, say All My Children or something, you go to the charge nurse and tell her what day and what time the show you want to see is on. But you have to tell her before the show is scheduled to be on. There was this one guy who was always requesting shows that had already played. He couldn't quite grasp the idea that the charge nurse couldn't make it be yesterday for him. Take you back in time. What a fruitcake." This last thought actually penetrates Cole's focus on the TV. He turns to Jeffrey, who's picking up speed again. Seriously, more and more people are being defined now as mentally ill. Why? Because they're not consuming on their own, but as patients, they become consumers of mental health care. And this gives the so-called sane people work. Woo! Shock therapy, group therapy, hallucinations, therapeutic drugs, iggity-diggity-doo. Perfect. The system in harmony like a big machine. That's it, Jeffrey. You're gonna get a shot. I warned you. Right. Carried away. I got carried away, explaining the workings of the institution. Just then, T.J. Washington, a somber-looking African-American in a bathrobe, taps Cole on the shoulder. I don't really come from outer space. This is T.J. Washington, Jim. He doesn't really come from outer space. Don't mock me, my friend. It's a condition of mental divergence. I find myself on another planet, Ogo, part of an intellectual elite, preparing to subjugate barbarian hordes on Pluto. But even though it's totally convincing reality in every other way, I can breathe, feel, hear. Nevertheless, Ogo is actually a construct of my psyche. I am mentally divergent in that I am escaping certain unnamed realities that plague my life here. When I stop going there, I will be well. Are you also divergent, my friend? The PA system interrupts, startling Cole. James Cole, report to staff, James Cole. Staff! Woo! Time for staff! Now the geniuses cure you! Hallelujah! Cole is agitated and speaking forcefully in the psych ward conference room. This is a place for crazy people! I'm not crazy! Raleigh, 4 other psychiatric residents, including Raleigh's best friend, Mary Lou Martin, and their chief, Dr. Owen Fletcher, sits around a beat-up conference table watching Cole, who sits facing the doctors, with Billings looming behind him. Some of the doctors bear a strong resemblance to the scientists of the future. We don't use the term crazy, Mr. Cole. Well, you've got some real nuts in here. Listen to me, all of you. I have to tell you something that's going to be difficult for you to understand, but... James, please. These are all doctors. We want to help you. Mr. Cole, last night you told Dr. Raleigh you thought it was 1995. How about right now? Do you know what year it is right now? 1989. Look, I'm not confused. There's been a mistake. I've been sent to the wrong place. Suddenly, Cole reaches out and Billings lunges forward. But Cole is just grabbing a pad and pencil. Hey, I'm not going to hurt anybody. Fletcher restrains Billings with a hand signal. Do any of you know anything about the Army of the 12 Monkeys? They paint this. They stencil it on buildings all over the place. Cole waves a sketch of the dancing monkey logo we saw earlier. Mr. Cole. Right. I guess you wouldn't. This is 1989. They're probably not active yet. That makes sense. Okay, listen to me. 3 billion people died in 1995. 3 billion. You got that? Almost the whole population of the world. Only about 1% survived. Doctors exchanged knowing looks. This is an old story, apparently. Are you going to save us, Mr. Cole? Save you? How can I save you? It already happened. I can't save you. I'm simply trying to get some information for people in the present, so that someday... You don't believe me. You think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm a convict, sure. I have a quick temper. But I'm as sane as everyone in this room. Cole stops and sees Dr. Fletcher tapping his pencil. He's seen this tapping before in the future. It disorients him. Can you tell us the name of the prison you've come from? Cole doesn't answer. He's staring at the tapping pencil. Does this bother you, Mr. Cole? Cole recovers with new tack. No, look, I don't belong here. What I need to do is make a phone call to straighten everything out. Who would you call, Mr. Cole? Who would straighten everything out? Scientists. I'm supposed to report to them. They'll want to know that they sent me to the wrong time. So you could talk to these scientists and they do what? Send you to the future? No, I can't talk to them. It's called voicemail. I'm supposed to leave messages, and they monitor it from the present. From the present. We're not in the present now, Mr. Cole. No, this is the past. This has already happened. Listen, Mr. Cole, you belong in 1995. That's the present. Is that it? No, 1995 is the past, too. Look, these scientists, Mr. Cole, are they doctors like ourselves? Two of the residents exchange quick, knowing looks. No, I mean yes, but look, I've been given a lot of drugs, but I'm still perfectly lucid. You have to let me use the phone. One call. Cole looks desperately towards Raleigh, pleading eyes meeting hers. 4 little kids scream and squabble while the phone chirps insistently in the tiny, cluttered apartment, and a harried mother lunges for the phone and answers sharply. Yes? He listens, frowns, and then, what? Voicemail? I don't know what you're talking about. Is this a joke? I don't know any scientists. James who? I never heard of you. The mother slams down the phone. A dismayed Cole still has the receiver in his hand. Sympathetically, Raleigh takes it away from him. It wasn't who you expected? Cole is clearly agitated and starts to pace. Is he nuts? It was some lady. She didn't know anything. Perhaps it was the wrong number. No, that's the reason they chose me. I remember things. Raleigh frowns, studying the distracted man with intense interest. It's clear that Cole is becoming a special patient, and Raleigh's cold, detached demeanor is giving way, ever so slightly. James, where did you grow up? Was it around here, around Baltimore? What? I have the strangest feeling I've met you before, a long time ago perhaps. Were you ever... Wait, this is only 1989. I'm supposed to be leaving messages in 1995. That's not the right number yet. That's the problem. Damn! How can I contact them? Raleigh recovers her distance, her poise. As she takes a bottle and pours out some tablets, she hands them to Cole. James, take these. Watching him step back. Please. I helped you like I said I would. Now I want you to trust me. The airport concourse in the dream. Mr. Ponytail races past the startled young Cole. Watch it! Was it Jeffrey wearing gaudy pants and a ponytail? It was definitely Jeffrey's voice. Travelers dive for cover as a woman's voice cries out, No! The terrified traveler looks up at young Cole and makes eye contact, but doesn't speak. The terrified traveler looks a lot like Dr. Fletcher. Just then, young Cole is distracted by a running figure. It's the blonde man in the Hawaiian shirt, but he's not injured. He's sprinting toward the gate, glancing back over his shoulder, his mustache slightly askew. A sharp crack of a gunshot rings out, and then dazzling light, and everything goes white. Cole's eyes blink awake, blinded by a flashlight. He's lying in one of 30 beds in a darkened ward, disoriented. Which world is this? The room is full of breathing and snoring. Occasional moans. He can barely discern the shadowy figures of an orderly and a nurse making their rounds, checking each bed. His eyes adjusting to the darkness. Cole watches them exit. He turns and sees a patch of moonlight coming in a barred window. With a quick glance at the sleeping patients, he slips out of bed and makes his way stealthily to the window. He peers out. The moon, glowing in the sky, illuminating a single tree. Under the tree, in silhouette, a couple embraces and kisses. angle on Cole, looking out the window, absorbed. It won't work. You can't open it. Alarmed, Cole turns and sees Jeffrey in the next bed. You think you can remove the grill, but you can't. It's welded. Cole checks the grill anyway. See? I told ya. And all the doors are locked too. They're protecting the people on the outside from us. But the people on the outside are as crazy as us. Cole has become preoccupied with a small spider creeping along the windowsill. He's staring at it when he's distracted by a sudden sound. Grabbing the spider, Cole scrambles back into bed just as the door opens and an orderly probes the dark room with the blade of his flashlight. Cole in bed, feigning sleep. The flashlight clicks off and Cole hears the door close. For a long moment, the ward is silent except for breathing, snoring, and the occasional moan. Then, Cole hears Jeffrey's hoarse whisper, picking up right where he left off. You know what crazy is? Crazy is majority rules. Take germs, for example. Although Cole is preoccupied with the spider struggling to get out of his fist, he can't help reacting to the word germs. Germs? In the 18th century, there was no such thing. Nobody ever imagined such a thing. No sane person, anyway. Along comes this doctor. Semmelweis, I think. He tries to convince people, other doctors mostly, that there are these tiny invisible bad things called germs that get into your body and make you sick. He's trying to get doctors to wash their hands. What is this guy, crazy? Teeny tiny invisible whatchamacallem germs? As Jeffrey warms to the subject, getting excited, Cole tries to figure out where to put the spider. So cut to the 20th century, last week in fact, right before I got dragged into this hellhole. I ordered a burger at this fast food joint. The waiter drops it on the floor. He picks it up, wipes it off, and hands it to me, like it was all okay. No alternative. Cole pops the spider in his mouth and swallows it as Jeffrey prattles on. What about the germs, I say? He goes, I don't believe in germs. Germs are just a plot they made so they can sell you disinfectants and soap. Now he's crazy, right? Hey, you believe in germs, don't you? I'm not crazy. Of course not. I never thought you were. You want to escape, right? That's very sane. I can help you. You want me to, don't you? Get you out? If you know how to escape, why don't you? Why don't I escape? That's what you're going to ask me, right? 'Cause I'd be crazy to escape. I'm all taken care of, see? I've sent out word. What does that mean? I've managed to contact certain underlings, evil spirits, secretaries of secretaries, and assorted minions who will contact my father. When he learns I'm in this kind of place, he'll have to transfer me to one of those classy joints where they treat you properly. Like a guest, like a person, sheets, towels, like a big hotel with great drugs for the nutcase lunatic maniac devils. Patients are waking up as the nurse and two orderlies burst into the dorm and head straight for Jeffrey, who's struggling to calm himself. Sorry, really sorry. Got a little agitated. The thought of escaping crossed my mind, and suddenly I felt like bending the fucking bars back and ripping off the goddamn window frames and eating them. Yes, eating them and leaping. Cole watches the orderlies grab Jeffrey and haul him away. You dumb assholes! I'm a mental patient. I'm supposed to act out. Wait till you morons find out who I am. My father's going to be really upset, and when my father gets upset, the ground shakes. My father is God. I worship my father. We angle on the TV screen, a video image of a lab monkey, convulsing pathetically, a victim of shocks of the numerous wires attached to his tiny restrained body. We angle on Cole, sitting, writing intensely in a magazine with crayon, surrounded by dull-eyed patients in pajamas and ratty robes, staring at the shuddering lab monkey on the TV screen. Torture! Experiments! We're all monkeys! Cole looks up, startled, as Jeffrey, one eye bruised black, takes the seat next to him. They hurt you. Not as bad as what they're doing to Kitty. The TV now shows a laboratory cat turning in mad circles, eating its own tail, while a news reporter narrates. These videotapes were obtained by animal rights activists who worked underground as laboratory assistants for several months. Authorities say there is little they can do until... The video footage now shows lab workers watching the results of their experiments passively. Cole reacts angrily. Look at those assholes! They're asking for it! Maybe people deserve to be wiped out. Jeffrey is startled and turns. Wipe and cut the human race! That's a great idea, but it's more of a long-term thing. Right now, we have to focus on more immediate goals. I didn't say a word about you know what. What are you talking about? You know, your plan. As Cole stares, befuddled, Jeffrey sees Cole's magazine. What are you writing? You a reporter? He shields the magazine. It's private. A lawsuit? You gonna sue him? Just then, Billings looms over Cole, extending a cup full of pills. Yo, James, time to take your meds. A commercial plays on the TV 30 minutes later. A beautiful couple romps in the surf in slow motion, while an eager narrator encourages, take a chance, live the moment, sunshine, gorgeous beaches, the Florida Keys. Cole, now very drugged, seated in front of the TV, along with other patients staring at the screen, shows a picture of the Marx Brothers. We'll return to the Marx Brothers in Monkey Business, following these messages. Monkey Business. Monk, key, business. Cole sees Jeffrey sliding into the next chair and smirking. Get it? Monk, key? Monk, key? Jeffrey flashes his palm open for a quick moment. A key. Cole groggily. What? Ooh, they really dosed you, bro. Major load. Hey, listen up. Try and get it together. Focus on the plan. Remember? I did my part. What? Not what, babe. When? When? Presses the key into Cole's hand. Now! Let us guide you to the stocks and bonds that will enhance your portfolio. Jeffrey leaps to his feet. Yes! Buy now! Buy now! Stocks and bonds! No more monkey business! Buy now! Almost mimicking Jeffrey with an ad, a bull and a bear on a computer screen, showing stock prices fluctuating. A portfolio tailored to your specific needs and the needs of your loved ones. We angle on Cole, dumbfounded, watching Jeffrey dance crazily. Yes! Yes! Enhance your portfolio now! We angle on Billings, across the ward, reacting to Jeffrey. He lets go of the old man he's helping, as another orderly, Terry, presses a beeper, calling for help. Cole is flabbergasted as Jeffrey cavorts around the room. Buy, sell, seize the opportunity! We see a hand inserting the last piece into the Peaceable Kingdom jigsaw puzzle. Just then, Jeffrey's hand sweeps the puzzle off the table, scattering it into 1,000 pieces. Jeffrey dances away while the patient, who just completed the puzzle, stares very upset. Other patients are getting agitated too, as Jeffrey avoids a lunge by Billings and dances off, using other patients as a shield. I'm getting dizzy. Please make him stop. Here they come. They're coming. $500. I got $500. I'm insured. Opportunity. Definitely. A window of opportunity. Opening now. Now's the time for all good men to seize the moment. Yes, MasterCard, Visa, the key to happiness. We angle on Cole, realizing through the haze of drugs that Jeffrey is trying to send a message to him. Cole looks at the ward door. The ward door opens and 2 husky orderlies enter. One locks the door with a key, one of many on a keyring attached to his belt, as the other orderly rushes to join the pursuit. "Seize the moment! Get rich! Now's the time! Go for it!" Billings missing a tackle. "God damn you, Jeffrey! Quit playing the fool!" We angle on Cole, hesitating. He looks at the door, which goes in and out of focus. He looks down at the key in his hand. Jeffrey being grabbed by the orderlies. He resists wildly as they struggle to overpower him. "Last chance! Last chance! Hey! Ow!" Cole moves to the door. He reaches it and tries to insert the key into the lock. The key keeps missing the hole. He glances nervously over his shoulder. The orderlies swarm over Jeffrey, but don't notice Cole. He manages to insert the key, but it won't turn. A patient close at hand stares at Cole and speaks into his ear. "Place to go would be Florida. The Keys are lovely this time of year." Cole is unnerved, desperately trying to get the key again. It turns. "Be careful. J. Edgar Hoover isn't really dead." Cole pauses and stares, not understanding. Then he opens the door. Stepping through the door, he finds himself in an ante-room, facing several elevators. A uniformed security man sitting at a nearby desk doesn't even look up from the magazine he's reading. Barely daring to breathe, Cole steps toward the elevator, so his back is to the security man. But he doesn't know how to control the elevator. What should he do? "2's not working today. Use 1. Cole freezes and sneaks a glance over his shoulder. The security man continues on reading. He's a big guy with reading glasses perched on his nose. He looks exactly like the menacing guard in the future, Scarface. Cole is stunned. Just then, an elevator door slides open. The elevator is empty. The door closes, isolating Cole inside. Cole finds the down button and is about to push it when the elevator springs to life. The numbers on the indicator over the door start to rise. Then it stops and the door is open. 2 doctors and an aide stand in front of the door waiting. They look at him. They seem to expect him to exit. Avoiding eye contact, Cole exits the elevator. As they enter, the doctor looks at Cole and frowns. Raleigh has just arrived to work. She's slipping on her white doctor's coat when Dr. Casey, one of the other residents, sticks his head in the door, waving a crayoned message on a page torn from a magazine. "This was in my box, but I have a slight suspicion it wasn't for me." Casey enters the room, reading the scrawled words dramatically. "You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. You live in a beautiful world, but you don't know it. You have freedom, sunshine, and air you can breathe. Cole, James Cole, right?" She reaches for the note, but Casey moves it out of her grasp. "I would do anything to stay here, but I must leave. Please help me." Poor man. Casey is handing her the note when another resident, Dr. Goodens, sticks his head in the door. He's upset. "Hey, Catherine, James Cole is one of yours, right?" Raleigh and Casey stare at him. "He got out. Took off. Last seen he was up on 9. In the X-ray department, a patient is being swallowed by a large tube, a CAT scanner, while a doctor in a white coat speaks reassuringly. "Just relax, don't fight. We have to know exactly what's there, so we can—" The doctor stops, astonished, as the door bursts open. It's Cole. He stares at the patient and the CAT scanner. The patient lifts his head up and stares at Cole. Excuse me, can I help you?" Cole turns and rushes back out the door. Cole steps into the corridor. He turns to his right and freezes. A posse of security guards is headed in his direction. Cole turns to his left. 4 orderlies are coming that way. Cole is trapped. He attacks the nearest man, Billings. Raleigh prepares a hypo. turns to Cole, who is strapped tightly on a gurney with Billings and an RN standing on either side, tense for more trouble. One of Billings' eyes is starting to swell shut. "It's just a shot to calm you." "No more drugs, please." "I have to do this, James. You are very confused." Raleigh pushes the needle into Cole's skin. Dr. Fletcher in the conference room, Raleigh across the table. Dr. Casey, Dr. Goodens, and Dr. Marilou Martin are also there. "Don't be defensive, Catherine. This isn't an inquisition." "I didn't think I was being defensive. I was just—" "He should have been in restraints. It was bad judgment on your part, plain and simple. Why not just cop to it?" "Okay, it was bad judgment, but I have the strangest feeling about him. I've seen him somewhere." "2 policemen were already in the hospital. Now we have an orderly with a broken arm and a security officer with a fractured skull." "I said it was bad judgment. What else do you want me to say?" "You see what I mean? You're being defensive. Isn't she being defensive, Bob?" Just then, Billings sticks his head in the door. Dr. Fletcher, we got another situation." Dr. Fletcher looks into an empty padded cell as Raleigh, Martin, Goodens, Billings, Palmer, and the nurse crowd behind him. "He was in full restraints. And the door was locked?" "Yes, sir. Did it myself." "And he was fully sedated?" "He was fully sedated." "Then you're trying to tell me that a fully sedated, fully restrained patient somehow slipped out of that vent, replaced the grill behind him, that he's wriggling through the ventilation right now?" Dr. Fletcher indicates an impossibly tiny vent high in the wall. Back inside of the dream, we see a 747 taking off through a glass window, climbing into the sky as the airport PA system drones. "Flight 784 to San Francisco, now boarding at Gate 38. Young Cole, watching the 747, whirls at the sound of a commotion. Mr. Ponytail bumps him. The blonde man sprints past. A woman's voice calls out, "No!" Travelers dive for cover, briefly revealing the mysterious brunette running after the blonde man. But this time, Cole catches just a glimpse of her face. She looks a little bit like Raleigh, except for the dark hair and the makeup, the flashy earrings. She calls out, her voice blending weirdly with the PA system. "The Freedom for Animals headquarters now boarding on 2nd Avenue. The army of the 12 monkeys. Cole, you moron, wake up!" As Cole blinks awake, the digitized monotone of the PA system continues to drone in an unearthly voice. "They're the ones who are going to do it." Cole's eyes see the source of the sound and find it on the table, in front of the panel of disapproving scientists facing him. It's a beat-up old tape recorder. "I couldn't do anything more. The police are after me." The tape ends, runs off reel. Flap, flap, flap. "Well? What?" "He's drugged out of his mind. He's completely zoned out." "Cole, did you or did you not record that message?" That message? Me? It's a digital reconstruction of a message, Cole, from a weak signal on our contact number. Did you make that call?" "I couldn't call. You sent me to the wrong year. It was 1989. The scientists react, exchanging looks and whispers. "You're certain of this?" "What did you do with your time, Cole? Did you waste it on drugs, women?" "They forced me to take drugs." "Forced you? Why would someone force you to take drugs?" "I got into trouble. I got arrested. But I still got you a specimen. A spider. I didn't have any place to put it, so I ate it. It was the wrong year anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter." The scientists stare incredulously, then turn and exchange knowing looks. They start to whisper to one another. Struggling to stay awake, Cole sees blurrily the microbiologist staring at him intently. For one moment, The face belongs to Dr. Fletcher. Cole blinks hard, and the microbiologist has his own face again. Cole's head slumps forward now, and everything goes dark. Cole! Cole comes awake with a start. The room is dark, except a slide is being projected on a torn screen. It's a picture of the stenciled graffiti, the logo of the Army of the 12 Monkeys. What about it, Cole? Did you see it? No, sir. Another slide clicks into place. Youthful protesters, their placards featuring slogans and images of animal atrocities, confront police in riot gear. What about these people? Did you see any of these people? Zooming in and panning, the scientists emphasize the faces of the protesters. The faces are unfamiliar to Cole, though we will recognize some of them later on. No, sir, Wait! The image pans back to a much enlarged, blurry face among the protesters. The expression of rage, in spite of the poor image, is clear. It seems to resemble a somewhat older Jeffrey Mason. Him? You saw that man? I think so. In the mental hospital. The microbiologist. You were in a mental institution? The scientists mutter disapprovingly among themselves. You were sent to make very important observations. You could have made a real contribution. Helped to reclaim the planet, as well as reducing your sentence. The question is, Cole, do you want another chance? Cole stares at them, trying to figure out what they mean. The brunette runs up the concourse, her back to young Cole, as frightened passengers duck for cover, shouting. Hey, who's that? Cole opens his eyes. Where is he? Silence, as he examines his tiny cell. Bare cement walls, high ceiling, same color and size as the isolation room at the county hospital. Hey, Bob, what's your name? Cole looks around frantically. Where is that voice coming from? Maybe that tiny vent in the wall? Where are you? You can talk. What'd you do, Bobby boy? Volunteer? My name's not Bob. Not a problem, Bob. Where did they send you? Where are you? Another cell. Maybe. What do you mean, maybe? What's that supposed to mean? Maybe. Means maybe I'm in the next cell. Another volunteer like you. Or maybe I'm in the central office spying on you for all those science bozos. Or maybe I'm not even here. Maybe I'm just in your head. No way to confirm anything. Where'd they send you? Cole doesn't answer. Not talking, huh, Bob? That's okay, I can handle it. 1989. 89. How was it? Good drugs? Lots of pussy? Hey, Bob, you do the job? Did you find out the big info? Army of the 12 Monkeys? Where the virus was prior to mutation? It was supposed to be 1995. Science isn't an exact science with these clowns. You're lucky you didn't end up in ancient Egypt. Cole is strapped on a gurney. Scientists hover nearby, whispering. The walls of the gloomy chamber are damp and sweating. No mistakes this time, Cole. Stay alert. Keep your eyes open. Good thinking about that spider, Cole. Try to do something like that again. Just relax. Don't fight it. We have to know exactly what's there so we can fix it. The gurney is being wheeled onto a crudely welded steel tube, reminiscent of the CAT scanner in the county hospital. The last glimpse of anxious faces, and then the chamber door is clanged shut. Everything is black. A hum builds. The blackness vibrates. The hum reaches a deafening level, and then diminuendos. We begin to hear bursts of machine gun fire, voices shouting in French, a sudden huge explosion, and then drizzling rain and screams. Cole is in a deep trench, naked, eyes wide with terror. What's going on? Where is he? Soldiers in gas masks push urgently past him, rushing toward their injured comrades who have been ripped apart by a shell that just hit 15 yards away. Muffled voices shout through gas masks in French. Cole doesn't know it, but this is World War I. Suddenly, a sergeant confronts him, shouting in French, "Where's your mask? And your clothes? And your weapon, you idiot?" In French. What? What? Cole looks around desperately. A horribly wounded man is being stretchered past them in a narrow trench. Machine guns chatter close at hand. A grenade explodes. Reacting to the foreign word, the sergeant jams his bayonet into Cole's ribs. "Captain, a kraut! We've got a kraut!" In French. "I don't understand. Where am I?" The captain hurries over, snapping at Cole in German. "How'd you get here, soldier? What's your rank?" "Where are your clothes?" "I don't understand." He frowns. "German! Speak German! What are you doing here?" I gotta find them. I gotta find them. Please, you gotta help me." Cole turns and sees it's his friend Jose, the Puerto Rican kid from the next cell in the underground time. He's being carried past Cole now on a stretcher, bloody all over his torso, horribly wounded. "Jose!" "Cole! Oh God, Cole, where are we?" Jose reaches out to Cole, just as a photographer takes a flash picture of the kid being carried off on the stretcher. Suddenly, shots ring out. Cole goes down, he's hit in the leg. Soldiers in gas masks rush past him like giant insects. Looking to his left, Cole sees the captain lying beside him, dead from a chest wound, his gas mask half off. Cole is reaching for the mask when a shell hits close by with an enormous explosion. Stunningly quiet. We are on a placid college campus, looking at the dignified architecture of Bright Rose Hall. Moving in, we focus on a large poster advertising The Alexander Lectures, Spring 1995. We skim the listings. John Elfs on the nuclear agony, Dr. Andrew McSall on biological ethics, until we settle on Dr. Catherine Raleigh, Madness and Apocalyptic Visions, May 17. A large screen dominates the auditorium stage. On the screen is a slide of an engraving from the Middle Ages showing a madman in apparent agony, his mouth shaped to a scream, as he is restrained by peasants. The projector zooms slowly on the agonized face of this madman, as we hear Raleigh's voice lecturing. According to the accounts of local officials at that time, this gentleman, judged to be about 40 years of age, appeared suddenly in the village of Weil near Stonehenge in the west of England, April 1162. Using unfamiliar words and speaking in a strange accent, the man made dire prognostications about a pestilence which he predicted would wipe out humanity in approximately 800 years. Deranged and hysterical, the man raped a young woman in the village. He was taken into custody, but then mysteriously escaped and was not heard of again. We discover Raleigh, 6 years older now, standing at a lectern in a pool of light. She is dwarfed by the giant screen where the engraving is replaced by a series of slides of woodcuts, showing scenes of pestilence in the Middle Ages, as she lectures to an audience of mostly scholarly types. In 1841, Mackay wrote, "During seasons of great pestilence, men have often believed the prophecies of crazed fanatics, that the end of the world was come." Obviously, this plague doomsday scenario is considerably more compelling when reality supports it in some form, whether it's the bubonic plague, smallpox, or AIDS. In addition to these natural contagions, There are now technological horrors as well. Besides radiation, consider our lurking fear of germ warfare and its close approximation, chemical warfare, which first reared its ugly head in the deadly mustard gas attacks of the First World War. On the screen, a series of slides show images of World War I soldiers in gas masks, death throes, etc. During an attack in the French trenches, October 1917, we have an account of this soldier. A slide of an old deteriorated photograph shows Jose, the Puerto Rican kid, strapped to the stretcher, being carried by soldiers through the trenches during an attack. Jose appears to be ranting madly as the projector zooms closer on his face until the image approximates Munch's famous painting. Who, during an assault, was wounded by shrapnel and hospitalized behind the lines, where doctors discovered he had lost all comprehension of French, but he spoke English fluently, albeit in a regional dialect they did not recognize. The man, although physically unaffected by the gas, was hysterical. He claimed he had come from the future, that he had been looking for a pure germ that would ultimately wipe mankind off the face of the earth in the year 1995. The audience gives a nervous chuckle. On the screen, a different old photograph of Jose. This time, he's in a military hospital, gaunt, haunted, very ill. Although seriously injured, the young soldier disappeared from the hospital before more data could be gathered. No doubt, he was trying to carry on his mission to warn others, substituting for the agony of war a self-inflicted agony we call the Cassandra complex. As Raleigh continues, we scan the audience and discover Mary Lou Martin, Raleigh's friend, Mary Lou's husband, Wayne Chang, both listening attentively. Further away, another man listens, intently. A man with shoulder-length carrot-colored hair. His name is Dr. Peters. Cassandra, in Greek legend, you will recall, was condemned to know the future, but to be disbelieved when she foretold it. Hence the agony of foreknowledge, combined with the impotence to do anything about it. A stack of new books in a reception room an hour later. The Doomsday Syndrome, Apocalyptic Visions of the Mentally Ill, by Dr. Catherine Raleigh. Surrounded by enthusiastic members of the audience, Raleigh is seated at a table, signing books. But Dr. Peters has her ear. "I think, Dr. Raleigh, you have given your alarmists a bad name. Surely there is very real and very convincing data that the planet cannot survive the excesses of the human race, proliferation of atomic devices, uncontrolled breeding habits, the rape of the environment, the pollution of the sea, the land, the air. In this context, isn't it obvious that Chicken Little represents the sane vision, and Homo sapiens' motto, 'Let's go shopping,' is the cry of the true lunatic?" Dr. Peters smiles self-importantly at Raleigh as an elderly, disheveled professor elbows in front of him. "Dr. Raleigh, please, I wonder if you're aware of my own studies, which indicate that certain cycles of the moon actually impact on the incidence of apocalyptic predictions as observed in urban emergency rooms and..." As the professor babbles, Mary Lou Martin and her husband Wayne Chang appear and whisper, "You were great." "You're leaving?" "The reservation's at 9:30. It's getting late." "Please, Dr. Raleigh, please, this is very important." Wayne Chang checks the professor. "You sure you're going to be all right?" Raleigh smiles and checks her watch. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Dr. Raleigh, I simply cannot understand your exclusions of the moon in relation to apocalyptic dementia." There's a full moon when she enters the parking lot. Colleagues in a Volvo pull out, calling congratulations to her. She waves back as she hurries to her black Acura, one of the last cars in the lot. The outside lights of Brightrose Hall go off. She seems to be alone in the lot. As she fishes in her purse for her keys, she unlocks her car door and starts to open it when suddenly she's grabbed from behind in a chokehold by a large shadowy man looming in the darkness behind her. "Get in!" Unable to scream, she writhes and kicks as he forces her into the front seat. "I've got a gun." Raleigh freezes, terrified, as he opens the rear door and scrambles in behind her. Fighting to suppress the quaver in her voice, Raleigh says, "You can have my purse. I have lots of cash and credit." "Start the car." Glancing in the rear view, Raleigh sees penetrating eyes peering out of the shadows, but no other features. Half turning in the seat, she holds out the keys to him. "Here, you can have the keys, you can—" He grabs her hair and yanks her head back, speaking fiercely into her ear. His face is lost in shadow. "Start the car, now!" The engine starts, the Acura backs up, and then heads for the exit. Steering fearfully, Raleigh hears him speak more calmly now. "I don't want to hurt you, but I will. I've hurt people before when I had no choice. Turn left." As she makes the turn, Raleigh glances in the rearview mirror and sees him unfolding a tattered map. His face is lost in darkness, but she glimpses ragged, torn clothing. He tries to read the map by the intermittent glow of passing streetlights. "Where are we going?" "I need you to drive me to Philadelphia." "But that's more than 200 miles. "That's why I can't walk there. Turn here, I think." She obeys. She glances in the mirror again, hesitates, and then boldly switches on the dome light, holding her breath fearfully for his reaction. He grunts appreciatively. Relieved, she looks in the mirror again, trying to get a look at him, but now his features are concealed by the map. "If you make me go with you, it's kidnapping. That's a serious crime. If you let me go, you could just take the car and— I don't know how to drive. We went underground when I was 9. I told you that. When you come to the corner, turn right." Startled, Raleigh whirls and looks right at him. He's lowered the map. It's Cole, haggard, unshaven, and dirty. "Cole? James Cole. You escaped from a locked room 6 years ago." 1989. 6 years for you. Here's the sign, right here." Cole is indicating a freeway entrance. Raleigh turns the wheel sharply. The Acura veers up the ramp and onto the freeway. Raleigh glances in the mirror and sees Cole settling back wearily against the seat. She says carefully, "I can't believe this is a coincidence. Mr. Cole, have you been following me? You told me you'd help me. I know this isn't what you meant, but I was desperate. No money, bum leg, sleeping on the streets. I probably smell bad. I'm sorry about that. But then I saw your book in the store window with a notice about your lecture. I can read, remember?" "Yes, I remember." "Why do you want to go to Philadelphia?" "It's the next step. I checked out the Baltimore information. It was nothing. It's Philadelphia. That's where they are, the ones who killed everyone." Pointing suddenly, eagerly. "Is that a radio? Does it play music?" Raleigh turns on the radio, and immediately we hear the sound of surf and the cries of gulls, background to an oozing baritone commercial. "This is a personal message to you." Cole sits up, alert, listening intently. "Are you at the end of your rope? Are you dying to get away?" Cole's eyes narrow, concentrating on this personal message. "The Florida Keys are waiting for you." Cole frowns as the sound of the surf and the crying gulls fills the car. It's confusing. He blurts out, "I've never seen the ocean." Observing his confusion in the mirror, Raleigh assumes her professional tone. "It's an advertisement, Mr. Cole. You understand that, don't you? It's not really a special message to you. Cole frowns. He did think it was for him, but she's probably right. You used to call me James. You prefer that? James? You don't have a gun, do you? Everybody's got a gun in this city. He breaks off, reacting to the radio music. Fats Domino singing Blueberry Hill. Cole grins, mouth agape, eyes wide like a kid. Can you make it louder? I love hearing 20th century music and breathing air. As Raleigh cranks up the volume, she watches the mirror incredulously, sees him stick his head out the window into the wind, mouth open, eating the air hungrily. Blueberry Hill blares as the Acura, Cole's head is out the rear window, zips past a sign at 65 miles per hour. The sign says, Philadelphia, 233 miles. Raleigh glances in the mirror at the nut in the rear seat with his head out the window. What can she really do? Just then, while she's trying to figure something out, an announcer's voice breaks in. This just in from Fresno, California. Emergency crews are converging on a cornfield where playmates of 9-year-old Ricky Newman says they saw him disappear right before their eyes. Cole pulls his head inside with a frown, troubled now. Young Newman apparently stepped into an abandoned well shaft. He's lodged somewhere in the narrow 150-foot pipe, possibly alive, possibly seriously injured. Playmates claim they heard him cry out faintly, but since then there's been no contact with... Never cry wolf. What? My father told me that. Never cry wolf. Then people won't believe you if something real happens. If something real happens? Like what, James? Something bad. Is that all the music? I don't want to hear this stuff. Raleigh glances at him as she scans stations. Did something terrible happen to you when you were a child? Something so bad that... Oh, that one. Can I hear that one? It's Ivory Joe Hunter singing Since I Met You, Baby. From Cole's point of view, we see the heavens glittering with 1,000,000 stars and the lover's moon, as Ivory Joe croons an achingly romantic lyric. 'Cause since I met you, baby, all I need is you. We angle on Cole, wind in his hair, eyes shining, gulping air blissfully. Inside Raleigh's apartment, 2 police officers and an anxious Mary Lou Martin listen to an answering machine message while a hungry cat cries plaintively. Dr. Raleigh, this is Palmer from Psych Admitting. There was a guy here this afternoon looking for you. He seemed very agitated. We tried to keep him, but he refused, and I kept thinking, it came to me a few minutes ago. It's Cole, James Cole, the paranoid guy who pulled the Houdini move in '89. Well, he's back, and he's cuckoo, and he's looking for you. So I thought you ought to know. The machine switches off. The police officers exchange a look. It's just as I told you. My husband and I, we went ahead, and she never showed. It's totally unlike her. Officer 2 pulls out his notebook. Do you happen to know the make of her car? Acura 92. Also, that cat is starving. She would never neglect her cat. The Acura is parked outside room 46 of the Highway Byways Motel, which has definitely seen better days. The TV is on. A commercial is just starting. A cat food jingle. The sound of heavy breathing. Cole, sweating, breathing heavily, sprawled on one side of the double bed, sound asleep. In the dream sequence in the airport, a gunshot. Young Cole glimpses the blonde man staggering, wounded. The mysterious brunette races past him toward the blonde man, and young Cole again glimpses the resemblance to Raleigh, in spite of the dark hair and the makeup and the flashy earrings. Close at hand, young Cole's father, his face still out of view, says, "Son, it's important for your cat to have the nourishment necessary for healthy bones and a rich coat." Cole comes awake with a start. He stares disoriented at the cat food commercial on the TV. "Please untie me, I'm very uncomfortable." Cole turns to Rowley beside him on the bed, frightened and helpless, her jacket arranged to restrain her like a straitjacket. Cole's instinct is to free her at once, but he controls his impulse. He looks away, gets up, and winces. He limps to the dresser, steps around empty fast food cartons. He pulls a razor and shaving soap from a paper bag and then goes to the bathroom, leaving the door open. He starts to shave. "You were in my dream just now. Your hair was different, but I'm sure it was you." "We dream what's important in our lives. I seem to have become pretty important in yours. What was the dream about?" "About an airport, before everything happened. It's the same dream I always have. The only one. I'm a little kid in it." "And I was in it? What did I do?" "You were very upset. You're always very upset in the dream, but I never knew it was you before." "It wasn't me before, James. It's become me now because of what's happening. Please untie me." Finished shaving, Cole re-enters the bedroom, toweling his face. "No, I think it was always you. It's very strange. You were flushed and moaning. I think you're running a fever. What are you doing?" Cole is rummaging through Rowley's wallet, pulling out money. "I'll be back in a minute." He heads for the door. "No, don't leave me here like this." Too late. He shuts the door behind him, leaving her alone. The anchorman on the TV sits at a news set. "And in Fresno, California, crews continue to attempt to rescue 9-year-old Ricky Newman." We angle on Rowley, twisting and struggling on the bed, trying to get loose, tears welling in her eyes. The boy was playing ball with 4 other children when he literally disappeared off the face of the earth. Cole puzzles over a junk food vending machine. He inserts coins tentatively. We angle on the TV, the picture of Rowley filling the screen. Closer to home, in Baltimore, Catherine Rowley, prominent psychiatrist and the author of newly released book on insanity, disappeared mysteriously last night after a lecture at the university. Rowley stops struggling and stares at the screen. Angle on the TV, where 6-year-old police mugshots of Cole reveal the intense, weird stare of a dangerous man. A former mental patient, James Cole, is wanted for questioning regarding Dr. Rowley's disappearance. Authorities warn that Cole has a history of violence. Rowley glances toward the door. Cole stands in the doorway, arm full of junk food, eyes on the screen. Rowley, at the wheel of the Acura, daintily eats a candy bar, while Cole, beside her, gobbles potato chips as he pores over a road map. "We have to stay on the back roads. It'll slow us down, but we can't take a chance. They're going to find us, you know, sooner or later. You still don't get it, do you? There isn't any later." A profound moment of silence. "How do I turn on this radio?" He finds the switch and music fills the air. "I love music. We don't have anything like this." Cole puts aside the map and pulls out a stack of tattered, much-folded papers. He starts going through them. Rowley glances. "What are those?" "My notes. Observations, clues." "What kind of clues?" "The secret army. The army of the 12 monkeys. I've told you about them. They spread the virus. That's why we have to get to Philadelphia. I have to find them. It's my assignment." "What will you do when you find this secret army?" "I just have to locate the virus in its original form before it mutates, so the scientists can come back and study it to find a cure, so that those of us who survived can go back to the surface of the earth." Raleigh maintains a professional deadpan. She says nothing as they pass a pickup truck with a mother, father, and 5 kids in the back. Cole stares at the kids, a sad look in his eyes. You won't think I'm crazy next month. People are going to start dying. At first, the papers will say it's some weird fever, some virus. Then they'll begin to catch on. Then they'll get it. We interrupt this program with a special bulletin. Raleigh and Cole both react to the radio suddenly alert. This report just in from Fresno, California. Naval sonar specialists were flown to the site. I thought it was about us. I thought maybe they found us and arrested me or something. Raleigh stares at Cole. Just a joke. Have been unable to determine the location of the boy in the 150-foot shaft, but a TV sound man who lowered an ultra-sensitive microphone into the narrow tube claims he heard breathing sounds coming from approximately 70 feet down. Cole reaches down and changes the station. Music again. Doesn't that disturb you, James? Thinking about that little boy in the well? When I was a kid, I identified with that kid down there in that pipe 100 feet down. Didn't know if they were going to save him. What do you mean when you were a kid? Never mind. It's not real. It's a hoax. It's a prank. He's hiding in a barn. Hey, turn left here. Left. Cole quickly checks the map as Raleigh stares and then turns left. An elderly evangelist with long, stringy hair wearing a tattered bathrobe stands on a Skid Row corner, waving a worn Bible as he rants at disinterested derelicts, winos, and bag ladies. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. Her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. We angle on Raleigh's Acura, crawling down the street. Raleigh driving Cole beside her, staring out the window. Cole is scrutinizing the crumbling walls, boarded-up storefronts, tattered posters, decaying signs, and miserable residents. Where I come from, we think of this as Eden. If we could just see the sun, eat sun-grown food. Eden! Look at them. They don't know what they have. They don't see the sky. They don't feel the air. A BMW speeds toward them and passes, its radio blaring. The ones who aren't hungry are so smug. They haven't got a clue. Wait, stop! On foot now, Cole pulls an astonished Raleigh to a wall covered with graffiti, a hopeless tangle of symbols, words, and crude pictures. Clueless, Raleigh stares at the wall, and then at Cole. Cole touches a bit of red stenciled graffiti, hidden under gang insignias. We can see 12 monkeys holding hands in a circle. The 12 monkeys! They're here! He looks around. Somewhere. Come on! He pulls her along the sidewalk. No question. He's insane. At the next alley entrance, Cole stops abruptly, and then still keeping a firm grip on Raleigh's arm, he starts ripping down newly tacked up posters announcing a rap concert. Raleigh stares at him and then turns and looks around, when suddenly, Cole pulls her up tight and threatens. Look, I'm warning you. You do anything, I'm gonna go crazy and hurt people. I'm not gonna do anything, I promise. But you need help, James. None of this is what you think it is. We angle on Cole, not listening, staring triumphantly. He's found another partially obscured stencil of the 12 monkeys. But just then, a raspy voice startles Cole. You can't hide from them, Bob. Cole whirls and sees a derelict, Louis, leering at him, speaking in a voice eerily like the raspy voice from the next cell in the future. No, sir, old Bob, don't even try. They hear everything. They got that tracking device on you. They can find you anywhere, anytime. Raleigh looks from Louis to Cole and sees Cole's stunned reaction. He touches his back jaw. "In the tooth, Bob, right?" Sudden triumphant grin. "But I fooled him, old buddy." He opens his mouth wide. "No teeth!" Cole grabs Raleigh and pulls her into the alley and down it. "They're keeping an eye on me." "Who's keeping an eye on you?" "The man with the voice. I recognize him. He's from the present. Cole breaks off and freezes as he sees there on a brick wall is a stencil of the dancing monkeys. Further on, another red stencil. Crackheads huddle against a building, sucking their pipes, oblivious to Cole, pushing Raleigh past. Cole scans the walls for messages in the confusion of graffiti. Raleigh is considering her surroundings dubiously when, suddenly, Cole pulls her toward the mouth of a dark and forbidding alley. "James, no! We shouldn't be here!" Cole ignores her, yanking her after him in the alley. Two tomcats face off in the dark alley, arching their backs and hissing menacingly. Cole avoids them as he pulls Raleigh into the gloom. Angle on Raleigh, seeing something alarming 20 yards ahead. Two thugs standing over a man, kicking him. Raleigh tries to stop, but Cole, intent on the wall messages, doesn't notice the thugs. The two thugs turn and spot Cole and Raleigh moving toward them. These creeps have mean eyes, predator faces. Raleigh digs her heels in, forcing Cole to stop. "James, we have to go back. These men—" Too late. While Cole turns and stares at her uncomprehending, the two thugs are approaching. "Hey, buddy." Startled, Cole turns to face them. The second thug lunges for Raleigh's purse and yanks it from her. Cole reaches to grab it back, but whack! The first thug smacks Cole hard across the face with something metallic. Bloody-faced and dazed, Cole doesn't even have the chance to clear his head as the first thug shoves the hard object against Cole's cheek. It's a cheap .38 pistol. Raleigh turns to run, gets 2 steps before the second thug knocks her roughly to the ground. "Stick around, bitch." Looming over her, the second thug starts to unzip his fly. Raleigh looks over at Cole and sees Cole drop to his knees, groveling at the first thug's feet. Please don't hurt me." The first thug steps close and kicks Cole contemptuously. He cocks his foot for a second kick when Cole uncoils, lunging, rising, his strong arms around the bigger man's calves, lifting him mightily high off the ground. The gun fires wildly as Cole staggers forward with the first thug in his arms and smashes the man into the brick wall behind him. The first thug goes down in a heap, dropping the pistol. Zipping his fly up hastily, the second thug turns to deal with Cole, but Cole attacks him next, rocking him again and again with savage blows that come one after another with lightning speed. The second thug staggers back, bloody and dazed, as Raleigh watches, amazed. Turning back to the first thug, Cole sees the man reaching for the dropped pistol. Cole kicks him viciously in the jaw. The first thug's head whips back. He collapses against the brick wall. Cole turns to see the second thug retreating down the alley as fast as he can stagger. Raleigh stares up at Cole. He looks very dangerous. He glances in her direction as he pockets the pistol. "Are you hurt?" No. Yes, just some scrapes." As Raleigh gets to her feet, she sees Cole bend over the motionless thug and quickly go through his pockets. "Is he alive?" Cole ignores the question as he pockets the man's wallet, a handful of bullets. Then he turns and snaps at Raleigh. "Come on, we're running out of time. You can't help him." As Cole yanks her roughly away, she looks back and sees the thug's sightless eyes wide open, staring blankly. Oh, James, Jesus, you killed him! I did him a favor. Come on. Cole pulls her again and sees more 12 monkeys on the wall. You didn't have a gun before, did you? I've got one now. The evangelist, spotting Cole and Rowley hurrying past him, points urgently at Cole. You're one of us, aren't you? But Cole has stopped and stares when a storefront office, its windows covered with posters. The sign over the office says Freedom for Animals Association. Inside the shop, earnest young activists, Fail, deathly pale, Ben, long-haired, and Teddy, muscular, are gathered around a counter, collating leaflets that demand an end to speciesism. Behind them, a large poster proclaims, Animals have souls too. Just then, there is a tremendous clap of thunder as the activists look up and see Cole and Rowley enter. Cole looks startled. It sounds like torrential rain pouring in here. Maintaining a tight grip on Rowley's wrist, he looks around frantically for an explanation for the tropical downpour. Bookshelves line 2 walls. The front window is blanked, cut with posters of animal rights demonstrations, newspaper clippings, photos of animal atrocities. The fourth wall features the counter, where the 3 activists face Cole as a jungle bird screams in the downpour. Can we help you? Cole looks confused as the rain abates and an elephant trumpets an urgent warning. Excuse me? You looking for something in particular? It's all right, James. It's just a tape. Cole's eyes follow her look. It's a tape recorder underneath a sign advertising the true music of the world. I'm looking, for the army of the 12 monkeys. Fail glances at Ben and Teddy. We have a problem, the look says. Monkey starts chattering on the tape as Teddy comes around the counter, bigger than Cole, physically imposing and menacing. We don't know anything about an army of the 12 monkeys, so why don't you and your friend disappear, okay? Cole backs away, a firm grip on Rowley as a lion roars. I just need some information. Didn't you hear me? We're not. Teddy breaks off mid-sentence, freezes. Cole is pointing a pistol at them. A tiger snarls. James, no! Don't hurt them! Please, I'm a psychiatrist. Just do whatever he tells you to do. He's upset and disturbed. Please, he's dangerous. Just cooperate. Monkeys chatter wildly as Teddy backs up. What do you want? Money? We only have a few bucks. Cole is suddenly very much in charge and self-confident again. A baboon howls with laughter. I told you what I want. He snaps at Rowley. Lock the door. James, why don't we... Lock it now. Rowley hurries to the door and locks it as Ben says to Fail, I told you that fuckhead Mason would get us into something like this. Shut up! Mason? Jeffrey Mason? Yeah, tucking. Crazy Jeffrey Mason. The 3 activists are tied tightly together in the middle of the floor of the dimly lit, windowless basement. They're very frightened and eager to cooperate. Then, Jeffrey becomes like this big star. The media latch onto him because he's picketing his own father, a famous Nobel Prize-winning virologist. You must have seen all that on TV. No, I don't watch TV. Cole, the gun next to him, rummages through boxes of papers, while Rowley watches helplessly. Suddenly, Cole finds something he thinks he's seen before, and he holds it up. Is this him? Dr. Mason? It's a photograph of Dr. Malcolm Mason being escorted by a phalanx of riot cops through a mob of raging activists. That's him. Very frightened. What are you going to do with us? Cole stares at the photo. Tell me more about Jeffrey. Jeffrey started getting bored with all the shit we do. Picketing, leafletting, letter writing stuff. He said we were ineffectual liberal jerk-offs. He wanted to do guerrilla actions to educate the public. Cole holds up a clipping showing horrified senators standing at their desks as rattlesnakes slither along the Senate floor. Yeah, that's when we let 100 snakes loose in the Senate. We weren't into that kind of stuff. It's counterproductive, we told him. So he and 11 others split off and became this underground army. The Army of the 12 Monkeys. They started planning a human hunt. They bought stun guns and nets and bear traps. They were going to go to Wall Street and trap lawyers and bankers. But they didn't do it. They didn't do any of that. Yeah, just like always, Mr. Big Shot sold his friends out. What does that mean? He goes on TV, gives a news conference, tells the whole world he just realized his daddy's experiments are vital for humanity, and that the use of animals is absolutely necessary, and that he, Jeffrey Mason, from now on, is going to personally supervise the labs to make sure all the little animals aren't going to suffer. Holding up a Rolodex. What's this? In the crawling traffic in the afternoon, we find a battered Ford covered with bumper stickers and painted slogans. I break for animals. Free the animals. Would you let a mink wear your skin? You can't just barge in on a famous scientist. They'll have security guards, gates, alarm systems. It's insane, James. A Rolodex card with an address on Outer Bridge Road for Jeffrey Mason, Dr. Malcolm Mason, rests on a map spread across Cole's lap. Cole is in the passenger seat and Raleigh is at the wheel, maneuvering in heavy traffic. If those young men don't get loose, they could die in that basement. Cole glances out the window and indicates the people in passing cars, commuters, families, truckers. All I see are dead people. Everywhere. What's 3 more? A beat. Then carefully with new tack. You know Dr. Mason's son, Jeffrey Mason, don't you, James? You met him in the county hospital 6 years ago. Cole is studying the map again. The guy was a total fruitcake. And he told you his father was a famous virologist. Cole is absorbed in the map, his finger tracing Outer Bridge Road. No, he said his father was God. The radio blares a country song as the Ford zips along an open highway. Cole has his head out the window, sucking air, loving the music, but his bliss is feverish now. He's not well. As the song ends, he pulls his head inside. An announcer's voice intones over the radio. This just in. Police are widening their search for Dr. Catherine Raleigh, prominent psychiatrist and author. Authorities confirm that Dr. Raleigh has been abducted by escaped mental patient James Cole. The two are believed to be traveling in Raleigh's 1992 black Acura, license plate HEADDR. Raleigh glances at him, seeing he's in pain. She feels so badly for him. She wants to help. She says tenderly, "This can't go on, James. You're not well. You're burning with fever." Cole, refusing to succumb, instead leans over to check the gas gauge. "We need gas." "I thought you didn't know how to drive." "I said I was too young to drive. I didn't say I was stupid." "What's the matter with your leg?" "I got shot. Look, there's a gas station up ahead." "Shot? Who shot you?" "It was some kind of war. Never mind, you wouldn't believe me. Turn off here." The gas station attendant checks the oil while Cole and Raleigh remain in the car. She's pulling a gas card from her wallet. "You were going to run out of gas on purpose, weren't you?" "No. I want you to turn yourself in, James. It'll go much better for you if you do, but I'm not going to trick you." He sees the credit card. "That has your name on it. Give him cash." Raleigh puts the card back into her wallet and pulls out cash as the gas station attendant slams the hood down. Raleigh starts opening the door. Alarmed, Cole tries to stop her. Where are you going? She looks him in the eye and then indicates the tiny convenience store appended to the gas station. You can come with me. I need some things. Scissors, bandages, some alcohol. Whiskey. I have to look at your leg, James. I'm a doctor. Cole looks helpless and hesitant. She's in charge for the moment. The sun dazzles through the canopy of leaves in a clearing inside the woods. We hear the car radio but not the engine. Meanwhile, in Fresno, where mining engineers continue their desperate attempt to sink a shaft parallel to the one in which 9-year-old Cole in his underwear leans back on a large rock beside the ford, his pants hanging on the car's open door. He's staring up at the sun and the sky. Raleigh finishes bandaging his thigh. You shouldn't put your weight on it. You'll need stitches and antibiotics. Lucky for you, it was near the surface. Raleigh wraps the bullet in some gauze and sticks it in her pocket, while Cole continues staring up at the sky. I love seeing the sun. A beat. Cole tries to stand up. Wait, let me help you. Raleigh puts an arm around him and helps him to his feet. A beat. They are very close. They don't move. Raleigh looks like she can barely breathe. You smell so good. You have to give yourself up, you know. The spell is broken. He reaches for his pants and then turns back to her, suddenly grim. I have to do something now. Something I don't want to do. I'm so sorry. Raleigh reacts, suddenly fear in her eyes. He looms over her. He's cold now and steeled. I have a mission. It's important. Raleigh steps back, horrified, realizing she's going to die. A Secret Service agent inside the Mason mansion ambles vigilantly among the rows of luxury cars parked beside the brightly lit rural mansion. Encountering another agent, he pauses. They find him? Who? That kid, the one in the pipe. You believe this? They're dropping a monkey down there with a miniature infrared camera strapped on him and a roast beef sandwich wrapped in tinfoil. You're making that up. Angle under a parked Mercedes where Cole is hiding, listening to the receding voices of the agents. I shit you not. Man, life is weird. A monkey and a sandwich? Wonder who thought that one up. Probably give the son of a bitch a Nobel Prize. Quickly, Cole rolls to the next car and under it. He doesn't see the pistol fall out of his pocket under the Mercedes. Inside the dining room, a formal dinner for 40. Dessert has been served. Dr. Malcolm Mason rises to the enthusiastic applause of the guests. Would that I could enjoy this opulent dinner, and this excellent and stimulating company for itself, with no sense of purpose. But alas, I am burdened with the sense that all this excess of public attention and this cacophony of praise, there comes great responsibility. Indeed, I practically feel a soapbox growing under my feet whenever I stand for more than a few seconds. While guests laugh at Dr. Mason's last remark, Secret Service Agent Number 3 enters the room, scowling, looking for someone. The dangers of science are a time-worn threat, from Prometheus stealing fire from the gods to the Cold War era of the Dr. Strangelove terror. Agent Number 3 spots who he's looking for. Jeffrey Mason. But never before, not even at Los Alamos, when the scientists made bets on whether their first atomic bomb tests would wipe out New Mexico, has science given us so much reason to fear the power we have in hand. Jeffrey, as Agent 3 whispers in his ear, What are you talking about? What friend? I'm not expecting anyone. Dr. Mason reacts with irritation to the disturbance. Current genetic engineering, as well as my own work with viruses, has presented us with powers as terrifying as any. We follow the agent out of the dining room, grumbling loudly enough to disturb his father's audience. This is ridiculous. My father is making a major address. The conversation continues as Jeffrey and Agent 3 enter the hall. Normally, if we caught a guy sneaking around like this with no ID, we'd bust his ass. Excuse the French, but this one said he knows you. And since you seem to have had some, unusual associates, we certainly didn't want to arrest one of your, closest pals. Cole, smudged with dirt and car grease, sitting in the shadows in a wingback chair. He looks up as Jeffrey and Agent 3 enter the room. A fourth agent looms behind the chair. Dismissing Cole casually. Never saw him before in my life. Go ahead and shoot him or torture him. Whatever it is you do. You do know me. You helped me once. Turning to leave. This would be totally out of character. Helping people is against my principles. To the agents. See, he definitely doesn't know me. Now I'm going to go back and listen to my father's very eloquent discourse on the perils of science, while you torture this intruder to death. I'm here about some monkeys. Halfway out the door, Jeffrey freezes. A beat. Excuse me? What did you say? Monkeys. 12 of them. Jeffrey frowns, turns, considers Cole, and then suddenly Jeffrey rushes to Cole and embraces him. Arnold! Arnold! Cole is astonished. The agents are too. My God, Arnie, what's happened to you? You look like shit. You know this man? Of course I know him. What do you think? I act like this to strangers? Listen, you fellas are terrific. I thought you were pulling a number on me. What a terrible thing if you'd thrown old Arnie out. I owe you guys a big apologia. Mea culpa, fellas. He turns to Cole. Christ, Arnie, it's black tie. I mean, I said drop by, but like this, Dad's big do, VIPs, senators, Secret Service, and everything? Jeffrey throws an arm around Cole's shoulder and starts leading him toward the door as two agents exchange narrow-eyed looks. Arnie? Arnold Pettibone. Old Arnie Pettibone. Used to be my best friend. Still is. What have you lost, Arnie? 40 pounds? No wonder I didn't know you. You hungry? Lots of dead cow, dead lamb, dead pig. Real killer feast we're putting on tonight. The agents watch Jeffrey lead the limping, disheveled Cole out. These people, all of them, are true weirdos. I'm going to call in the description of this Pettibone character. You go keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't do one of the guests with a fork. Guests pouring from the dining room into the hall meet Jeffrey and a very disconcerted Cole. Hey, nice to see ya. Looking good. Hi. Hi there. Yeah, it's been a long time. In the background, too far away to hear, Agent 4 trails Jeffrey and Cole as they maneuver through the guests toward the grand staircase. County Hospital, right? 1989. The Immaculate Escape, am I right? He smiles to guests. Why, thank you. You look wonderful, too. Listen to me. I can't do anything about what you're going to do. I can't change anything. I can't stop you. I just want some information. We need to talk. Come upstairs. I am a new person. I'm completely adjusted. Witness the tux? It's Armani. Who chattered? Goins? Weller? I just need to have access to the pure virus. That's all. For the future. Jeffrey studies Cole. Cole doesn't just talk crazy. He looks crazy. Come on, follow me. You don't look so good. Jeffrey starts guiding Cole up the grand staircase as Cole, glancing back, spots Agents 3 and 4 both keeping an eye on him now. I don't have time to go upstairs. The police are looking for me. I need to know where it is and exactly what it is. I get it. This is your old plan, right? Plan? What are you talking about? Remember when we were in the day room watching TV, you were all upset about the desecration of the planet, and you said to me, wouldn't it be great if there was a germ or a virus that could wipe out mankind and leave the plants and the animals just the way that they are? You do remember that, don't you? Bullshit, you're fucking with my head. And that's when I told you my father was a famous virologist, and you said, hey, he could make a germ and we could steal it. Listen, you dumb fuck. The thing mutates. We live underground. The world belongs to fucking dogs and cats. We're like moles or worms. All we want to do is study the original. Agent 4 butts in. Okay, take it easy. We know who you are, Mr. Cole. Cole feels a firm grip on his shoulder. He turns and sees Agent 4. Let's go somewhere and talk this thing over, okay? Come with me. You're right. Absolutely right. A nutcase. Totally deranged. Delusional. Paranoid. His processor's all fucked up. His information tray is jammed. Agent number 4 is wishing Jeffrey would chill out, even as the third agent is climbing up the stairs to help. Cole is like a trapped animal. He's being led down the staircase now with Jeffrey right on his heels, yelling so everyone can hear. You know what it is, the Army of the 12 Monkeys? It's a collection of nature kooks who run a store downtown. Space case do-gooders saving rainforests. I have nothing to do with those bozos anymore. I quit being the rich kid fall guy for a bunch of ineffectual bananas. So much for your grand plot. Cole stares back at Jeffrey as both agents hustle Cole down the stairs. It sounds true. Jeffrey is so confident. Take it easy, Mr. Mason. We've got him. Everything is... My father has been warning people about the dangers of experimentation with viruses and DNA for years. You've processed that information through your addled, paranoid infrastructure, and lo and behold, I'm Frankenstein, and the Army of the 12 Monkeys becomes some sort of sinister revolutionary cabal. This man is total batshit. You know where he thinks he comes from? Suddenly, Cole, catching the agents by surprise, wrenches free, shoving them aside, and stumbles down the rest of the staircase. Cole heads for the front door, but there's an agent there. Cole turns and limps madly toward the dining room, pushing his way through the crowd of amazed guests. Servants clearing the table look up astonished as two agents burst into the room. Did a man just come through here, limping? Cooks stare amazed as two other agents burst into the kitchen and look about urgently. A large projection TV in the den is on, and a knot of guests is gathering in front of it, watching the spooky video images. These pictures we are seeing are coming to us live from deep inside the pipe. You can just make out the metal wall behind these roots. I guess those must be spider webs. Mrs. McCann, a guest watching the TV, expresses concern. Well, if you ask me, I think that monkey is going to eat the sandwich himself. Just then, two agents burst into the den. The guests turn from the TV, startled, stare open-mouthed, but the agents have spotted an open window and are hurrying to it. Out the window, we see rows of expensive parked cars. Rowley's photograph appears on the TV. This just in. Police say that the body of a woman found strangled at the Nuxon State Park could be the kidnapped victim, Dr. Catherine Raleigh. As the agents run out of the room, a photo of Rowley's abandoned Acura comes up on the screen. Earlier in the day, police located Rowley's abandoned car not far from a building, where 3 animal rights activists were bound and gagged. Pistols drawn, agents are moving cautiously along the rows of parked luxury cars, checking inside and under vehicles. Come on out, Mr. Cole. We're not going to hurt you. Cole scrunched down on the floor next to the driver's seat of a green Jaguar, spots the keys dangling from the ignition. He lifts his head slightly to study the shift mechanism, trying to figure it out. The agents continue to move cautiously among the parked cars. Cole eases himself into the driver's seat. He tentatively slides the shift into drive and then turns the key. Nothing happens. Agent number 5 approaches the row where the Jaguar is parked. Cole slides the shift from drive to neutral. He twists the key again. The engine roars, 7,000 RPM. Agent number 5 whirls at the sound. Smash! The Jaguar clips the Mercedes parked in front of it and accelerates right at him. Agent 5 dives aside just as the speeding Jaguar whizzes past. He slams into a parked Cadillac, bounces off, and grinds between 2 other parked cars with a fierce scream of tearing metal. Caught between 2 cars, Cole can only lean on the gas pedal. The Jaguar comes free with a great screech. Cole sees the driveway ahead in the moonlight. Steering madly, he plows through shrubs and gardens, heading for the driveway. Lights off, veering wildly, the Jaguar reaches the driveway. Agents are leaping into cars and a helicopter is coming to life, its rotors whipping around. Cole turns onto the road, careening crazily from one side to another, unable to see ahead with no headlights. Lights! Lights! He starts hitting switches. The wipers come on and the radio blares. When they pulled the monkey out, it was still clutching the tinfoil-wrapped sandwich. Rounding a bend, an oncoming car heads straight at Cole. Cole yanks the wheel as the other car, horn blaring, just misses him. Recovering, Cole loses the road and speeds crazily along the shoulder. The pilot of the helicopter, another agent, steers while a co-pilot pans a spotlight over the 2-lane road beneath them. Just then, the pilot sees headlights below. There! He's showing lights! Cole can see the road now in his headlights as the windshield wipers scrape frantically and the radio blares. We don't know what to think. They didn't locate him. They didn't know how much longer he can last. That's assuming the boy is still alive. A spotlight hits the car and Cole hears the sound of the helicopter as it lowers over him. The helicopter maneuvers over the speeding Jaguar. Cole can see the underbelly of the helicopter a few feet above his front windshield. Desperately, he yanks the wheel hard, veering off the road. Dense woods. The chopper pulls up sharply, avoiding the trees, then levels out. The pilot skims the top of the trees, while the co-pilot rakes the forest below with his spotlight. God damn it, where is he? The co-pilot gives a brief glimpse of headlights through the leaves. There! Over there! Where? 8 o'clock, he was right there! The headlights are gone. Nothing but darkness below. He must have turned his lights off. He couldn't drive down there without lights. We just can't see him. Maybe he's not driving. A weather forecast blares from the radio of the steaming Jaguar crumpled into a tree. The driver's door is open. A police officer, pistol drawn, approaches the car cautiously, as other officers and agents stay behind trees, weapon ready. The police officer lunges forward, pointing his weapon into the Jaguar. He inspects the car, and then turns and calls out, "He's not in here!" Limping and bleeding from various cuts, Cole crashes through the underbrush as he follows a stream through the woods. Suddenly, he sees what he's looking for. A Ford, barely visible in the moonlight, parked in the trees beside the stream. The car looks empty. Total blackness, the sound of the keys in the lock. Then the trunk swings open, and Cole stands in the moonlight. Raleigh is in the trunk, tears of rage and frustration in her eyes. "You bastard! You total bastard!" Cole backs away as Raleigh scrambles out of the trunk swinging. He slips and falls, and she starts kicking him as she rants hysterically. "I could have died in there! If something had happened to you, I would have died!" Cole is lying on the ground, looking up, his lip caked with blood. I'm really sorry." Noticing his cuts and torn clothes, she stops kicking him. "What have you done? Did you kill someone?" Getting to his feet. "No, I don't think so. I stole a car and they chased me. I hit a tree. See, you can drive after all. Well, sort of, I guess. I'm sorry I locked you up. I think maybe I'm crazy. She looks at him. Breakthrough? Very calm now, the doctor says. What made you think of that? Jeffrey Mason said it was my idea about the virus, and suddenly I wasn't sure. We talked when I was in the institution, and it was all fuzzy, the drugs and stuff. You think maybe I'm the one who wiped out the human race? It was my idea? Nobody is going to wipe out the human race, not you or Jeffrey or anybody else. You've just created something in your mind, a substitute reality, in order to avoid something you don't want to face. I'm mentally divergent. I would love to believe that. It can be dealt with, but only if you want to. I can help you. Cole reacts to the sound of voices in the woods, dogs barking. I need help, all right. They're coming after me. First, it's important that you surrender to them instead of catching you running, okay? It would be great if I'm crazy, if I'm wrong about everything. The world will be okay. I'll never have to live underground. Give me the gun. The gun? I lost it. You're sure? He shows her. No gun. Stars? Air? I can live here. Breathe. Rowley starts around to the front of the car. I'm going to attract their attention. Let them know that we're here, okay? Rowley gets in the driver's seat and starts to honk the horn. They'll tell you to put your hands on top of your head. Do what they tell you. You're going to get better, James. I know it. We angle on Cole, spotting something on the ground. An insect. He reaches down to grab it, but instead he grins and grabs some grass. He stands and starts rubbing it happily all over his face. The horn blares as Cole looks up at the sky. The moon is full and the sky is rich with stars. Tears of joy run down Cole's face. I love this world. We angle on Rowley, in the driver's seat, hearing nearby shouts from the woods. The police are almost here. She gets out of the car, starts around towards Cole. Remember, I'm going to help you. I'll stay with you. I won't let them... She breaks off mid-sentence, stares, stunned. Cole is gone, disappeared. Rowley is being debriefed by police officers and FBI agents in the morning. Then I said something to him about cooperating, and he said he would do that. So I got in the car and started honking the horn. When I got out, he was gone. You lucked out. For a while, we thought you were a body they found downstate, mutilated. A cop enters and hands a photo to Lieutenant Halperin, who studies it. He wouldn't do something like that. Lieutenant Halperin interrupts and hands her the photo. Is this the man he attacked? Rowley looks at the photo of the thug slumped against the alley wall, obviously dead. I'd like to be clear about this. That man and the other man were severely beating us. James Cole didn't start it. In fact, he saved me. Funny thing, Doctor, maybe you can explain it to me, you being a psychiatrist. Why do kidnap victims almost always try to tell us about the guy who grabbed him? And try to make us understand how kind these bastards really were? As if reciting, it's a normal reaction to life-threatening situations. He's sick. He thinks he comes from the future. He's been living in a carefully constructed fantasy world, and that world is starting to disintegrate. He needs help. In the airport concourse, young Cole stares, eyes wide. He sees the brunette cradling the head of the blonde man as he sprawls on the concourse. Wake up! Wake up! I think we gave him too much. Wake up, prisoner! Cole blinks awake. All we can see are the blurry faces hovering over him, hammering him with questions. Come on, Cole, cooperate. Spit it out. You went to the home of a famous virologist. You don't exist. You're in my mind. What is this? What did he say? His brain is fried. Give him another shot. Speak up, Cole. What did you do next? The TV shows film of Raleigh leaving the police station. The kidnapped victim seemed exhausted, but apparently unharmed by her 30-hour ordeal as she left the police station in Philadelphia this morning. So far, she has refused to make a public statement. Raleigh's friends, Mary Lou and Wayne, are watching the TV. A door opens, and Catherine Raleigh, wearing a robe, comes out of her bedroom. She still looks exhausted. Followed by her cat, she enters the kitchen area and turns on the kettle as Wayne hastily turns down the TV. Sorry. No, I'm in a state of hyper-alertness. I can't sleep. Did you take the sedative? I hate those things. They mess my head up. The old mugshot of Cole appears on the screen, and Raleigh remotes the volume up. Along with the kidnapping of the Baltimore woman, James Cole is also wanted in connection with the brutal slaying of Rodney Wiggins, an ex-convict from... Raleigh goes to the window, pushes aside the drapes, and sees... A cop keeps watch. Do they really expect him to come here? Raleigh returns to the kitchen area, where Mary Lou is getting the tea things out. And in Fresno, California, Raleigh glances sadly toward the TV. He's dead, isn't he, that little boy? He's fine. It was just a prank he and his friends pulled. Raleigh's face is shocked, showing footage of a sheepish 9-year-old boy being led out of a barn by the police. The cops look grim. Authorities have so far been non-committal about whether they will try to file charges against the families of the children involved in the hoax. Raleigh stares at the TV, stunned. Voices, singing. Cole blinks awake and looks around confused, then stares in disbelief. Crowded around Cole's bed, the scientists are concluding a ragged, out-of-tune rendition of Blueberry Hill. Found my thrills on Blueberry Hill. Seeing he's awake, the scientists break off the song and applaud. Well done, James, well done, nice going, congratulations, good for you. During our interview, while you were under the influence, you told us you liked music. Cole, confused, looks around, sees he's in a one-bed windowless room adorned with cheap reproductions of 19th and 20th century landscapes. The botanist responds to Cole's obvious disbelief with a friendly smile, and the others join in rapid fire, overlapping. This isn't the prison, James. This is a hospital. Just until you recover your, equilibrium. You're still a little disoriented. Stress, time travel. You stood up very well, considering. Superior work, superior. You connected the army of the 12 monkeys to a world-famous virologist and his son. Others will take over now. We'll be back on the surface in a matter of months. We'll retake the planet. We're very close because of you. The engineer unrolls a document. This is it, James. What you've been working for. A full pardon. You'll be out of here in no time. Women will want to get to know you. I don't want your woman, you brainless twit. I want to be well. Unseen until now, 2 guards, Tiny and Scarface, suddenly break through the ring of scientists and push Cole down. They tighten the loose restraints already in place, unnoticed before. Of course you want to be well, James, and you will be, soon. Cole bursts into hysterical laughter. You don't exist, you silly bozos, you're not real. People don't travel in time, you aren't here. I made you up. You can't trick me. You're in my mind. I'm insane, and you're my insanity. We close on Catherine Raleigh, insisting fiercely to someone. He not only used the word prank, he said the boy was hiding in the barn. Raleigh is talking to her former boss, Dr. Owen Fletcher, psychiatrist, sitting across from her in his office, tapping his pen. He kidnapped you, Catherine. You saw him murder someone. You knew there was a real possibility he could kill you too. You are under tremendous emotional stress. For God's sakes, Owen, listen to me. He knew about the boy in Fresno, and he says 3 billion people are going to die. Catherine, you know he can't possibly know that. You're a rational person. You're a trained psychiatrist. You know the difference between what's real and what's not. And what we believe is what's accepted as truth now, isn't it, Owen? Psychiatry, it's the latest religion. We're the priests. We decide what's right and what's wrong. We decide who's crazy and who isn't. I'm in trouble, Owen. I'm losing my faith. Alone in his hospital room, Cole struggles, without success, to free himself from his restraints. You sure fucked up, Bob. Startled, Cole freezes, then ignores the raspy voice and continues his feverish struggle. But I can understand you don't want your mistakes pointed out to you. I can relate to that, old Bob. Cole looks around in spite of himself. Nothing to see but walls and the landscape paintings. Hey, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I don't exist except in your head. I can see that point of view. But you could still talk to me, couldn't you? Carry on a decent conversation? He blurts out, I saw you, in 1995, in the real world. You were a bum. You pulled out your teeth. Why would I pull out my teeth, Bob? They don't like that. That's a no-no. And when did you say you saw me? 1872? Fuck you. Yelling won't get you what you want. You have to be smart to get what you want. Oh yeah? What do I want? You don't know what you want? Sure you do, Bob. You know what you want. Cole, agitated, rocks back and forth, and then, Tell me what I want. To see the sky, the ocean, to be topside, breathe the air, to be with her. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you want? Completely shaken, Cole hesitates for a long moment. When he speaks, it comes out of him like air, a whisper. More than anything. Raleigh is in bed, asleep, having a very bad dream. Suddenly the bedside phone rings. Her eyes snap open, a beat to orient herself. Ring. She reaches for the phone. We close on Halperin at his desk, talking into the phone. Dr. Raleigh? Jim Halperin, Philly PD. Sorry to call so early, but, We close on Raleigh, eager, concerned, into the phone. You found him? Is he all right? Noting her reaction with raised eyebrows, giving an I told you so look at the black, plain-clothed cop across his desk. Then he continues to the phone. Au contraire, doctor. No sign of your good friend the kidnapper. However, the plot thickens. I have a ballistic report on my desk that says the bullet you claim to remove from Mr. Cole's thigh is an antique. All indications are it was fired sometime prior to 1920. Raleigh reacts, stunned. Continuing soberly now. So what I was thinking, maybe if we send a detective down there to talk with you, you could revise or amplify on the circumstances? Hello? Dr. Raleigh? Halperin considers the dead phone and glances at the cop again. Her hand still on the receiver, Raleigh looks shocked. Then she hurries into her study and starts frantically pulling neatly arranged piles of paper and books from a bookcase until she finds a copy of her book. She leafs through it hurriedly and locates the picture of the Puerto Rican kid in World War I. Peering closely, she tries to see everything in the picture. Then She turns and reaches for a research folder of old photographs and rummages through it until she finds... No! It's an uncropped shot of Jose being carried on the stretcher in the trenches. There in the corner, with no helmet, no gas mask, just a bit of bare shoulder showing, is Cole. Clean-shaven, clear-eyed, Cole sits before the frowning scientists. The food, the sky, the certain, sexual temptations. You haven't become addicted, have you, Cole, to that dying world? No, sir. I just want to do my part, to get us back on top, in charge of the planet. And I have the experience. I know who the people are. He really is the most qualified. But all that behavior... You said we weren't real, Cole. Well, sir, I don't think the human mind was built to exist in two different, whatever you call it, dimensions. It's stressful, you said it yourselves. It gets you confused. You don't know what's real and what's not. But you know what's real now? Yes, sir. The scientists start to confer openly among themselves. He'd have to bone up, catch up to our research, the latest clues. He's proved to be a quick study. The astrophysicist fixes Cole with a sharp, penetrating look. You can't trick us, you know. It wouldn't work. And why would you want to? It'll be dangerously close to the end. I understand. There would be no point. We're going to think about it, Cole, among ourselves. We'll get back to you. Dr. Mason stands in front of a wall of glass in his office, overlooking a high-tech lab below, where workers in white spacesuits work methodically. Dr. Mason speaks angrily into a phone. His male assistant, whose features we don't see, stops writing a formula on a blackboard and listens. You have reason to believe that my son may be planning to do what? Rowley, trying to stay calm, is talking to Dr. Mason on the phone. Please, I know it sounds insane, but... I'm afraid this doesn't seem very professional to me. In fact, it's distressingly unprofessional for someone who treated my son briefly, if indeed you actually are who you say you are, to take a suddenly unsolicited interest in his mental health 6 years later, and to telephone a parent to express opinions that would be inappropriate. He breaks off, listens. I don't know anything about monkey armies, Doctor. Nothing whatsoever. If my son was ever involved in... He listens again. It would be doubly inappropriate to discuss matters of security with you, Dr. Rowley, and if it will put you at ease, neither my son nor any other unauthorized person has access to any potentially dangerous organisms in this laboratory. Thank you for your concern. Dr. Mason hangs up angrily and glares. Dr. Catherine Rowley? The psychiatrist who was kidnapped by that man who broke into my house. She seems to have been suddenly struck by the most preposterous notion about Jeffrey. I attended a lecture once. Apocalyptic Visions. We see Dr. Mason's assistant now. It's Dr. Peters, the red-haired man who insisted to Dr. Rowley you don't have to be insane to think the world was coming to an end. Has she succumbed to her own theoretical disease? But Dr. Mason is lost in thought, not listening. Given the nature of our work, we can't ever be careful enough. I think we should review our security procedures, and perhaps upgrade them. Cole is facing the botanist, who's using a pointer to indicate various fading photos and newspaper clippings tacked on the wall. Let's consider again our current information. If the symptoms were first detected in Philadelphia on June 28, 1995, that makes us know that it was released in Philadelphia, probably on June 14, 1995. And it appeared sequentially after that in... With a quick glance at the panel of scientists staring at him from behind the long table, Cole replies like a good pupil. San Francisco, New Orleans, Rio de Janeiro, Rome, Kinshasa, Karachi, Bangkok, then Peking. Meaning... that the virus was taken from Philadelphia to San Francisco, then to New Orleans, Rio de Janeiro, Rome, Kinshasa, Karachi, Bangkok, then Peking. And your only goal is to find out where the virus is, so that qualified scientists can travel back into the past and study the original virus, so that a vaccine can be developed that will allow mankind to reclaim the surface of the earth. Cole glances nervously at the suspicious scientists as the botanist switches on a slide projector and projects a magazine photo of wall graffiti. Attention, police are watching. Is there a virus? Is this the source? 3 billion die. This is from a magazine printed in late September 1995. The writer speculated that this graffiti might be related to the epidemic, that by the time had already killed 30 million people worldwide, and was getting worse. He says certain people, unnamed, were questioned, but what came of that is not known. It is a clue you should pursue. Loud banging on the FAA storefront. The storefront window, completely covered with posters, quivers violently. Images of monkeys covered with electrodes, baby seals being viciously clubbed, dogs jammed into tiny cages that quiver as someone beats on the window. It's Raleigh. Is anybody there? Hello? Is someone in there? If you are, I need to talk to you. Jeffrey, Ben, and Teddy, two of Jeffrey's youthful cohorts, Sandy and Queskin, wait motionless beside a heap of cardboard cartons as Fail peeks out the front window through a slit between posters. It's the kidnap woman, the one who was with the guy who tied us up. What's she doing? She's drawing attention to us, that's what she's doing. I don't know what you're up to this time, Mason, but you're gonna get us in deep shit. Whine, whine, whine. What about walkie-talkies? We used to have walkie-talkies. From littered doorways, Derelict sneak peeks at Raleigh as she, seemingly mad, shakes the doorknob and then hammers on the door. I saw you! I saw someone moving! I know you're in there! Secret experiments! Raleigh whirls and sees Louis, the raspy-voiced, toothless derelict. That's what they do. Secret, weird stuff. You! I know you. But Louis is studying the pictures of the tortured animals now. Not just on them. They do 'em on people, too. Down at the shelters. Feed 'em chemicals and take pictures of 'em. Have you seen James Cole, the man? They're watching you. Taking pictures. Raleigh follows his look. We angle on an old Chevy parked across the street. The plain-clothed cop slouched at the wheel, pretending to read a newspaper. The police, I know. Listen, I need to talk to James, but he has to be careful how he contacts me. He mustn't get caught. Do you understand me? Yeah, sure. Who's James? He was with me. He spoke to you several weeks ago. He said you were from the future, watching him. Louis gives her a look that says, I'm out of here. But just then, Raleigh spots two teenage punks surreptitiously tagging their way along the street with cans of spray paint. Raleigh stares at the punks. Fail watches Jeffrey go over the checklist while Queskin, Sandy, and Teddy organize materials. Ben peeks out the small opening between posters at the front window. You got the bolt cutters? 1 dozen. They're in the van. 1 dozen bolt cutters? What are you going to do with 1 dozen bolt cutters? He grins. You really want to know? No, absolutely not. Don't tell me anything. Hey, do you know what she's doing? Everybody freezes, looking towards Ben, who's peeking inside. Then, except for Jeffrey, they're all crowding around Ben to get a look. A glimpse of Raleigh spray painting the front of the store. What does it say? I can't see it. Why don't we forget my goddamn psychiatrist and deal with the task at hand? This is important. Fail spins around. Your psychiatrist? Did you just say your psychiatrist? Ex-psychiatrist! Now what about flashlights? How many flashlights? That woman was your psychiatrist, and now she's spray painting our building? We angle on the slack plainclothes cop across the street in the Chevy, amazed, watching Raleigh spray paint. He shakes his head wearily. Angle on the street types, inching closer, watching Raleigh with amazement. An Irish drunk, white hair, red face, bloated. A Native American with tormented eyes and a mangled ear. An African American with one eye. The teenage punks. A white man, shabbily dressed, joining the knot of onlookers, reacting at the sight of Raleigh. It's Cole. He pushes toward her. Catherine! Raleigh stops spraying and whips around at the sound of his voice. James! With a quick glance toward the plainclothes cop, Raleigh takes urgent charge of the situation. James, that's a policeman. Pretend you don't know me. If he sees you... He turns and looks. No, I want to turn myself in. Where is he? Placing his hands on his head. Don't worry, it's all okay. I'm not crazy anymore. I mean, I am crazy. I'm mentally divergent, actually, but I know it now, and I want you to help me. I want to get well. Raleigh desperately pulls Cole's hand off his head as she tries to block the cop's view of Cole. James, put your hands down and listen to me. Things have changed. Angle on the plainclothes cop, checking the mugshot of Cole on his clipboard, and then reaching for his radio mic. Reacting to the cop speaking into his mic, she tosses the spray can aside, grabs Cole, and tries to pull him along, but Cole isn't moving. He's staring at the front of the FAA store with disbelief. James, come on, we have to get out of here. Cole looks from the wall to the can rolling on the sidewalk, and then back to the wall. Raleigh has sprayed in huge words. Attention, police are watching. Is there a virus? Is this the source? 3 billion die. It's the graffiti Cole saw in the photo, in the future. I've seen that before. But Raleigh's total attention is on their dilemma. James, trust me, we're in terrible trouble. We have to run. Very confused, Cole lets her drag him along the sidewalk, past onlookers. She looks crazier than he does. We angle on the Chevy, making a sudden urgent U-turn, almost colliding with a passing car. Brakes squeal and a horn blares. Ben, peeking out of the store, reacts to the drama. Wow, a guy in a Chevy is chasing her, and some other guy I can't see. Hey, no problem. It's probably just another kidnapping featuring Jeffrey's shrink. Pardon me, make that ex-shrink, indicating Jeffrey to the others. This is your leader, a certifiable lunatic who told his former psychiatrist all his plans for God knows what wacko, irresponsible schemes, and now who knows what she's painted out there on the wall. Who cares what psychiatrists write on walls? He jabs Fail with a finger. You think I told her about the army of the 12 monkeys? Impossible. You know why? You pathetically ineffectual and pusillanimous pretend friend to animals? I'll tell you why. Because when I had anything to do with her 6 years ago, there was no such thing. I hadn't even thought of it yet. Then how come she knows what's going on? Jeffrey abruptly switches from rage to good humor, adopting a supercilious smile and a patronizing tone. Here's my theory on that. While I was institutionalized, my brain was studied exhaustively in the guise of mental health. I was interrogated, x-rayed, studied thoroughly, and then everything about me was entered into a computer where they created a model of my mind. They all stare mesmerized at the strutting Jeffrey. Is he serious? Is he crazy? It doesn't matter. He's charismatic. Then, using the computer model, they generated every thought I could possibly have in the next, say, 10 years, and then they filtered through a probability matrix to determine everything I was going to do in that period. So you see, She knew I was going to lead the army of the 12 Monkeys into the pages of history before it even occurred to me. She knows everything I'm going to do before I even know myself. How about that? Jeffrey smiles smugly into Fail's flabbergasted face. Now, I have to get going to do my part. You guys check all this stuff out and load up the van. Make sure you have everything. I'm out of here. Jeffrey exits. The others stare at the door. He's seriously crazy, you know that? Skid Row. An overflowing dumpster squats near the mouth of an alley. The unmarked Chevy crawls slowly past the alley, the plainclothes cops' eyes searching everywhere. Trash stirs in the dumpster, and Rowley's eyes peer up out of the torn cardboard boxes, rotting food, and styrofoam litter. The police car passes from view, emerging from the refuse, hissing, "James, come on!" A confused Cole emerges from the opposite side of the dumpster, bits of lettuce in his hair. "I don't understand what we're doing." Climbing out of the dumpster. "We're avoiding the police until I can talk to you." Climbing out after her. "You mean treat me? Cure me?" "Catherine, those words on the wall. I've seen them before. I dreamed them." But she's not listening. She's peeking out the alley entrance. Across the street is a rundown Skid Row hotel. The desk clerk, an old alkie who hates trouble but finds it often, stares across the counter suspiciously at Rowley and Cole. $25 an hour." "An hour? You want quarter hours? Go someplace else." She catches on and pulls out her last bills. "Here's 98 for the night. Deal?" The desk clerk squints warily at this turn of events. Then he turns, gets a key, turns back, and hands it to her. 44. 4th floor, turn right. Elevator is busted." Rowley turns and Cole follows. They walk quickly to the stairs, passing the stares of gloomy residents sitting on torn sofa chairs in front of an old TV with hideous color. The desk clerk watches Rowley and Cole climb the stairs. As they disappear from view, he picks up the phone and punches a number, speaking. "Tommy, this is Charlie at the Globe. You know if Wallace has a new girl? Sort of a rookie type, blonde?" Cole sits on the lumpy bed in the dingy room, watching Rowley pace back and forth like a mad woman. "I thought I was in prison again." "Just like that? You were in prison?" "No, not really. It's in my mind, like you said. You disappeared. One minute you were there, the next minute you were gone. Did you run through the woods?" "I don't know. I don't remember." "The boy in the well. How did you know it was just a hoax?" "It was? I didn't know." "James, you said he was hiding in the barn." "I think I saw a TV show like that when I was a kid, where a boy—" "It wasn't a TV show. It was real." Cole looks at her. She's really upset. "Well, maybe that kid saw the same TV show and copied it. Listen, you were right. It's all in my head. I'm mentally ill. I imagine all that stuff. I know they're not real. I can trick them, make them do what I want. I just worked them in my head and I got back here. I can get better. I can stay here." Rowley pulls a photo from her purse and shows it to Cole. It's the uncropped picture from her book, the photo of Jose in World War I, with a fuzzy image of Cole on the edge of the frame. "What does this mean to you?" "I had a dream about something like that." "You had a bullet from World War I in your leg, James. How did it get there?" "You said I had delusions, that I created a world. You said you could explain everything." "Well, I can't. I mean, I'm trying to. I can't believe that everything we do or say has already happened, that we can't change what's going to happen, that I'm one of 3 billion people who are going to die soon." Cole stands and moves closer to her. "I want to be here, in this time, with you. I want to become a whole person. I want this to be the present. I want the future to be unknown. James, Do you remember 6 years ago you had a phone number? You tried to call and... Wham! The door flies open, kicked violently, the flimsy lock not folding. A menacing figure stands in the doorway. Wallace, a wiry biker type with jailhouse tattoos and mean eyes. Cole and Rowley are too stunned to say anything. Wallace looks over them coldly, insolent, and then arrives on Rowley. "This is my territory, bitch!" Cole, confused, turns to Rowley. "Is this, real, or is this one of my delusions?" "This is definitely real. Excuse me, I think we have a little misunderstanding here." Wallace smashes Rowley in the face. She flies back against the wall onto the floor, as Wallace spins around to Cole, who is stepping towards him, but Wallace is now holding a knife. "What are you, some kind of tough guy? You want to be a hero? You want to try and mess with me? Come on!" Cole puts his hands up placatingly as he backs around Wallace and moves to Rowley, whose eye is already swelling. "Now that's a smart boy. But you, honey, you think you can go around and peddle your fancy ass in this part of town? You bet your life we got what I call a major goddamn misunderstanding." Rowley reaches a hand up to Cole for assistance, but he grabs her purse instead, swings it around, and smashes Wallace in the face. Then he grabs the pimp's arm and snaps it like it was a twig. The knife clatters to the floor as Wallace yelps in pain. Cole slams him to the floor and straddles his chest. He retrieves the nearby knife and presses it sharply against Wallace's neck. Cole hesitates. "James, don't!" "You hurt her? Don't do it, man." Rowley gets up and looks around. "Put him in the closet, but get his money first." "You want to rob him?" We need cash, James." A shadow. Rowley turns toward the door and glimpses a face disappearing, then hears shouting from the hallway. "They're killing him! Call the cops!" Being very carefully not to move his neck, Wallace reaches into his pocket and produces a thick roll of bills, which Rowley grabs. "You two are crazy. I got friends. You put me in a closet, they're going to be real pissed." Cole moves off Wallace and, keeping his knife close, yanks him to his feet, while Rowley hurries to the window and looks out. A fire escape leading down to the alley. Rowley turns just in time to see Cole shove Wallace into the bathroom. He follows him in, slams the door, and locks it. "James, no!" Rattling the doorknob. "James, what are you doing?" Wallace cowers back against the shower stall. "I have friends, man. If you cut me..." Wallace breaks off, bug-eyed, reacting to something we don't see. "What the fuck are you doing?" Rowley is pounding the bathroom door now, as suddenly it opens. Cole steps out, the knife in his right hand, dripping with blood. "My God, James, did you kill him?" Cole shakes his head no, as blood oozes from his mouth. "Just in case I'm not crazy." He holds up 2 bloody molars. "That's how they find us, by our teeth. I don't want them to find me, ever. I don't want to go back." Rowley's astonishment turns to emotion as it dawns on her the choice he's made. Giving up the future, if it exists, and looking like it does, risking his life to be with her, for this brief time. She's overwhelmed, lips trembling, tears welling in her eyes. But just then, the sounds of shouts and feet thundering up the stairs snap her back to reality. Cops' boots thunder up the stairwell. In between nervous glances toward the door, Rowley supervises as Cole obediently blocks the bathroom door with the bureau. "Push it tight." "No problem, I'll stay in here. Don't worry about me." Police officers, led by the plain-clothes cop, make a cautious entrance onto the 4th floor, guns drawn. Seedy hotel residents point to room 44, and then cower back into their doorways. Cole and Rowley clatter down the fire escape, Cole in the lead. They come to the end of the metal stairway. It's a long distance to the ground. Cole jumps down, turns, and reaches up to her. She lets herself down to him. Their eyes meet. He holds her in his arms for a moment, and then reluctantly, he puts her down. They start running down the alley. The plain-clothed cop has his pistol out, his back to the wall, alongside the open doorway to room 44. The uniformed officers are backing him up, weapons drawn. "Police! Throw your weapons out and come out of there!" No response. The plain-clothes cop charges into the room in a crouch, pistol extended in both hands. He pans the gun around the empty room, the open window, the blood on the floor. "Hey, is that the police? I'm an innocent victim in here. I was attacked by a coked-up whore and a crazy dentist." A city bus disgorges a stream of passengers at a stop in the Tony downtown shopping district. Among them, Rowley looks furtively left and right, Cole on her heels. She's hidden her bruised eye behind sunglasses. He's holding a bloody handkerchief to his mouth. As he steps to the sidewalk, Cole is overwhelmed by the bustling city, the tall downtown buildings. His eyes go up. A building towering toward the sky, a building with a ledge. The same ledge the lion prowled in the future. Cole is shaken as Rowley ushers him into the recessed entrance of a store. "Wait here. I'm going to try that phone number. Let's hope it's nothing." Dazed by his experience, the flow of shoppers, Cole watches her hurry to a payphone 20 yards away. His view of her made intermittent by pedestrians streaming past, their faces looming frighteningly close. A businessman jostles Cole, forcing him back against the display window. Turning, he faces the angry jaws of a bear only inches away. Recovering from a jolt of terror, Cole realizes the bear is a life-size toy in a display window. Relieved, he looks back at Rowley. Well out of earshot, speaking earnestly into the phone. Cole, startled, as a businessman, mistaking him for a panhandler, shoves $1 into his hand. Confused, Cole stares at the dollar, then turns to say something to the retreating businessman. But just then, Rowley rushes towards him, eyes sparkling with happiness, laughing, ebullient. "James, it's okay. We're insane. We're crazy." Cole doesn't know how to respond, but a passerby gives him a look. It's a carpet cleaning company. A carpet cleaning company? No superiors, no scientists, no people from the future. It's just a carpet cleaning company. They have a voicemail. You leave a message telling them when you want your carpet cleaned. You left them a message? I couldn't resist. I was so relieved. Wait till they hear this nutty woman telling them they better watch out for the army of the 12 monkeys. Looking at her laughing face, Cole is struck with horror as he realizes the truth. He starts to recite, "The army of the 12 monkeys. They're the ones who are going to do it. I can't do anything more. The police are watching me." Now she's stunned. She glances back and sees the phone booth 20 yards away. "You couldn't have heard me." "They got your message, Catherine. They played it for me. It was a bad recording. Distorted. I couldn't recognize your voice." Rowley's eyes fill with horror as she grasps the meaning. Angle on a uniformed cop staring out the window of a police cruiser as it inches along in the bumper-to-bumper traffic. Noticing something, he reaches for his radio. Rowley spots the cruiser, grabs Cole, and pulls him into the crowd. "Come on!" Rowley, whose sunglasses don't really hide her bruised eye, add a man's Hawaiian shirt to the pile of other men's things heaped on the counter in front of a very suspicious clerk. "And this? Anything else?" But Cole is not here. He's a short distance away, staring. Aisle after aisle of eager shoppers and a bounty of brand new consumer goods. Cole is remembering another department store, dark and full of moldering merchandise. Turning again to the clerk. I guess that's it. Shall I put this on your account, ma'am? Producing Wallace's roll of bills. No, I'll pay cash. The clerk stares at the huge roll of bills. What floor are the wigs on, please? Surrounded by stripped and abandoned vehicles, the van, with the pest control logo on the side, is parked on a trash-ridden street, beside massive pillars of a towering freeway. The van is packed with 6 activists, Sandy and Queskin, among them all wearing black. Some of them have climbing gear, tool belts, all sorts of paraphernalia. Queskin is telling his story. So then he goes into this incredible riff about how his shrink, replicated his brain while he was in the nut house, turning it into a computer. And Fail believed it? Oh, you know Fail. He's like, if you guys get nailed, and I'm sure you will, I never saw you before in my life. Laughter from all of them. Then, there's a sharp rhythmic series of raps on the side door. A signal. Pope quickly slides the door open. It's Jeffrey, who is grinning. He's with 3 other activists. Goines, Ichioka, and Bruns stagger out of the darkness behind Jeffrey, lugging a huge, squirming garbage bag. The van occupants react with murmurs of, all right, and far out. Then they help maneuver the writhing bag into the van. Jeffrey and the others scramble in too. Let's do it! The pest control van lumbers up a ramp and onto the freeway. The garbage bag squirms and grunts as Jeffrey holds a map under the flashlight and goes over the plan with the other activists. Okay, that's stage 1. Stage 2, Monkey 4 is over here. A loud groan from the bag distracts the others. What's the harm in opening the bag? His eyes are taped. Yeah, it's cruel leaving him like that. But cruelty is his specialty. So why should we be like him? Struggling cheerfully, Jeffrey tears open the garbage bag, revealing Dr. Mason, trussed up, duct tape covering his eyes and mouth. Want the full effect? Grinning wildly, Jeffrey rips the tape from his father's mouth. Jeffrey, I know it's you. I recognize your voice, Jeffrey. Jeffrey puts his finger to his lips, silencing everyone. Jeffrey? Very well. You're out of your mind, Jeffrey. I know all about your insane plans. That woman, your psychiatrist, she told me. Jeffrey raises his eyebrows. This he had not expected. I didn't believe her. It seemed too crazy even for you. But just in case, I took steps to make sure you couldn't do it. I took myself out of the loop. I don't have the code anymore. I don't have access to the virus. So go ahead, torture me. But you can't extract anything of use to yourself. The activists are all exchanging puzzled looks. What virus? He spins his head towards Jeffrey. She knew about it, Jeffrey. She knew we were going to try this. What virus are we talking about, Dad? You're insane, Jeffrey. You develop viruses, and you're calling me insane? Typical. What does this virus attack? Don't tell me, you sick fuck. It doesn't matter. Have I ever developed a virus? Do I put helpless animals in cages and measure their reactions to electrical stimuli? Do I inject radioactive substances onto living creatures and examine their bowel movements? And I'm crazy. Please tell me, Jeffrey, what exactly are you going to do? I don't have to tell you, I'm afraid. This is a fucking experiment. You're our helpless little test animal, Daddy. Got that? Now what fucking virus have you come up with, you demented fucking maniac? We are now watching a movie screen in a theater. Spooky Bernard Herrmann music. Giant redwoods looming skyward. It's daytime in the Muir Woods. Scotty, James Stewart, and Madeline, Kim Novak, walk toward a display of a cross-cut section of a redwood tree. we're watching Hitchcock's Vertigo. Here's a cross-section of one of the old trees that's been cut down. They look at the lines of the tree, marked with cards that say, Birth of Christ, Discovery of America, Magna Carta signed, 1066 Battle of Hastings, and 1930 Tree cut down. Angle on the theater audience. Empty seats dimly visible in the flickering light. A few shadowy moviegoers scattered here and there. Madeline pointing, saying with profound melancholy, Somewhere in here I was born, and here I die. There's only a moment for you. You didn't notice. A shadowy couple near the back of the theater. We can't really see them, but we recognize their voices. Here, let me help you. The theater is briefly illuminated by a very bright scene on the screen, revealing enough of Cole and Raleigh for us to see she's doing something to his upper lip, while he tries to watch the movie. I think I've seen this movie before, when I was a kid. It was on TV. Fussing with his upper lip. Shh, don't talk. Hold still. Moving his head to see the film. I have seen it, but I don't remember this part. Funny, it's like what's happening to us, like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems to be different because you're different. You notice different things. If we can't change anything, because it's already happened, then we ought to at least smell the flowers. Flowers? What flowers? From the darkness, a movie patron makes the shh sound. It's an expression. Here. She's pulling something from a shopping bag at her feet and placing it on Cole's head, adjusting it. Why are we doing this? So we can stick our heads out the window and feel the wind and listen to the music. So we can appreciate what we have while we have it. Forgive me, psychiatrists don't cry. There are tears in her eyes. They discomfort Cole. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe we're both crazy. In a few weeks it will have started, or it won't. If there are still baseball games and traffic jams, armed robberies, and boring TV shows, we'll be so happy. We'll be glad to turn ourselves in to the police. Where can we hide for a few weeks? Scotty and Madeline are in the foreground on the screen, the ocean behind them. You said you'd never seen the ocean. We close on a gorilla, by moonlight, a true nightmare vision. Urgent whispers off screen and rustling sounds, and then metal on metal. Only now are we aware that the gorilla is in an outdoor zoo pen with phony rocks, stalking back and forth, huge, upset. Clank, 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 grunts of effort, and then Dr. Mason's voice, plaintive and frightened. What are you doing to me? What are we? Jeffrey, please. For God's sake, put the tape back on his mouth. The gorilla bellows angrily, beating his chest. Forget the tape. The monkey's louder than he is. You gonna tape the monkey's mouth? Under the full moon, panthers pace back and forth, uttering ominous guttural snarls. The king of beasts gives a deep, fierce roar. From the darkness, unseen elephants trumpet their response. In the aviaries, a pandemonium of wings rustling, sharp metallic clinking of metal on metal, the mutter of human voices, and then a cacophonous crescendo of frenzied screeching as parrots, cockatoos, and other exotic birds careen madly in their cages. Back in the movie theater, Cole is dozing fitfully as the sounds of screaming birds continue. Suddenly he comes awake with a start and sees the movie, filling his field of vision. Tippi Hedren, overwhelmed by the screeching birds in an attic in Hitchcock's The Birds. Cole orients himself, looking around. Empty seats on both sides of him. He's alone. He panics. "Catherine?" A lobby poster boasts Classics 24 hours a day and Hitchcock Festival. Panning off the poster, passing a snoring usher, dead to the world, in an old velvet chair, we discover a brunette in a tight dress, just hanging up the lobby payphone. Turning, she reveals heavy makeup, gaudy costume jewelry, and sunglasses. She is the brunette in Cole's dream. Crossing the lobby toward the auditorium, it's a pleasure to watch her nice body undulate in the tight dress. Just then, the auditorium doors burst open, and a blond man in a Hawaiian shirt appears. This is the man from Cole's dream, except this man's mustache is fixed firmly on his upper lip. The blond man stops, stunned at the sight of the brunette. "We're booked on a 9:30 flight to Key West." The brunette is Rowley, no longer the frazzled professional, revealed now by her disguise as a sexy babe. The blond man is Cole. He's confused. "You were in my dream just now. I didn't recognize you." "Well, you look pretty different too." "I mean, in my dream I didn't recognize it was you, and I woke up and I thought you were gone." She studies him seriously. "I remember you like this. I feel I've known you before. I feel I've always known you." Their eyes lock. Suddenly she backs up, gently maneuvering him with her, past the sleeping usher, to and through an unlocked, unmarked door, then closing it behind them. Raleigh and Cole are in a dimly lit, cluttered storage room. She kisses him hungrily amid the brooms, plastic trash barrels, other janitorial items. Cole responds to her passion as they move deeper into the room, its walls covered with old movie posters. Tearing at each other's clothes, they collapse on a rolled theater curtain among stacks of ancient theater seats. The red rim of the rising sun in the suburbs is just becoming visible above the silhouetted roofs of an upper-middle-class neighborhood. The early light is so vague that when a huge Siberian tiger pads across a neatly trimmed lawn, he's more of a shadowy vision than reality. Did we really see him at all? The rising sun flares behind the towering silhouette of an unfinished building, deserted in the early morning light. High up, a monkey, his head around a girder. 4 stories below, other monkeys are climbing. Deserted in the first light of dawn, the stores of a shopping mall face each other, across a broad promenade, with blank staring windows. Nothing happens for a long moment, and then an African bull elephant appears, turning the corner, lumbering towards us along the promenade, raising his trunk to trumpet triumphantly to the other elephants, also trotting into view behind him. A 50-ish woman cabbie with white hair and a southern twang is at the wheel of the cab. "What time's your flight, friends?" In the back seat, Cole, in a blonde wig and mustache, looks up to his companion, the sexy babe in sunglasses and heavy makeup. "Rally." 9:30. "Might be tight." She checks her watch. "My watch says 7:30. "On your normal morning, okay, plenty of time. But today, gotta take into the account the Army of the 12 Monkeys factor." "What? What did you just say?" "The Army of the 12 Monkeys. Don't you listen to the radio?" Cole and Rowley exchange a quick look. "Bunch of weirdos let all the animals out of the zoo last night. Then they locked up this big-shot scientist in one of the cages. The scientist's own kid was the one that did it." Raleigh and Cole stare at the cabbie, stunned. Now they got animals all over this place. Bunch of zebras shut down the thruway about an hour ago. Some kind of thing called an emu. Has traffic blocked for miles over on the 22. Flabbergasted, Raleigh's eyes suddenly fill with hope. That's what they were up to, freeing the animals. On the walls, They meant the animals when they said, "We did it." You can hear it on the radio, all the stations. As the woman cabbie switches on the radio, Rowley points and Cole follows her look. The two cheetahs, sleek and magnificent against the cityscape, streaking past the cab at 90 miles per hour. In the meantime, numerous animal rights activists have joined the chorus, condemning what they're calling loose cannon activities of Jeffrey Mason and his army of the 12 monkeys. Can these fools seriously believe that releasing a captive animal into an urban environment is being compassionate to the animal? It's mindlessly cruel, almost as indefensible as holding the animal in captivity in the first place. Rowley and Cole are watching flamingos cross the sky against a backdrop of skyscrapers in silhouette. Maybe it's going to be okay. Copies of the mugshot of Cole and a photo of Rowley, while the airport PA system drones in the background. A detective gives the flyers to the uniformed supervisor at one end of the ticket counter. Tell your people if they spot either one of them, not to try and apprehend them. They should notify us. Rowley and Cole 30 yards away, entering the terminal. Flight 531 for Chicago is now ready for boarding at Gate 17. Cole reacting to the PA, stopping and seeing the bustling airport traffic. I know this place. This is my dream. Airports all look the same. Maybe it's... James, your mustache, it's slipping. But Cole isn't listening. He's looking around, mesmerized. It's not just my dreams. I was actually here. My parents brought me to meet my uncle, about a week or two before everybody started dying. Rowley glances around nervously. Two uniformed policemen strolling through the lobby, their eyes scanning the faces of travelers. Rowley pulling a small tube from her purse. They may be looking for us, James. Placing the tube in his hand. Use this. You can fix it in the men's room. I was here as a kid. I think you were here too, but you looked just like you do now. James, if we're identified, they're going to send us someplace, but not to Key West. Cole snaps out of it. You're right. I have to fix this. I'll get the tickets and meet you in the gift shop. Cole follows her look, nods, and then heads for the men's room as Rowley, in sunglasses, gaudy outfit, high heels, starts clip-clopping toward the ticket counter, her ass attracting admiring glances. Business travelers huddle over payphones talking earnestly as Cole walks past on his way to the men's room. Seeing an unoccupied phone, Cole hesitates and considers it. Coming to a decision, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out some change. The flyer of Cole and Rowley is taped under the counter, hidden from the customers, but in clear view of the ticket agent. He has just finished serving a portly gentleman. The gentleman walks away. Rowley steps up to the counter smiling, looking nothing like Rowley on the flyer. Judy Simmons, I have reservations for Key West. Cole is speaking into the phone very low, very private, and very intense. Listen, I don't know whether you're there or not. Maybe you just clean carpets. If you do, you're lucky. You're going to live a long, happy life. But if the other guys exist and you're picking this up, forget about the army of the 12 monkeys. They didn't do it. It was a mistake. Someone else did it. The army of the 12 monkeys are just dumb kids playing revolutionaries. It was someone else. Cole looks around nervously. He catches a businessman at the next phone looking away quickly. Cole touches his loose mustache as he averts his face and speaks into the phone in an urgent whisper. I've done my job. I did what you wanted. Good luck. I'm not coming back. Cole hangs up the phone, looks around, catches a few stares. Averting his face, he heads for the men's room. The ticket is counting out a stack of bills. Don't see a lot of this. Cash. It's a long story. The ticket agent smiles and hands over the tickets. They'll begin boarding in 20 minutes. Have a nice flight, Mrs. Simmons. Turning to go, Raleigh fumbles the tickets while trying to put them in her purse. They flutter to the floor. As she kneels to retrieve them, we see a long line of waiting travelers from the waist down. We see a familiar Chicago Bulls sports bag resting on the floor beside sneakers and gaudy baggy pants. We've seen this outfit before, in Cole's dream, on Mr. Ponytail. The PA drones as Cole, head down, lingers at a sink, washing and rewashing his hands, while another traveler finishes drying his hands, gives Cole a quizzical look, and then leaves. Quickly, Cole glances around, checks the seemingly empty men's room, and then takes the tube of adhesive from his pocket. He puts some of the goop under the loose edge of his mustache and presses it firmly against his face. Got yourself a problem, Bob. Cole whirls and looks for the source of the voice. Nothing, until he spots shoes peeking from dropped trousers, indicating an occupied stall. It must be him. Leave me alone. I made a report. I didn't have to do that. Point of fact, you don't belong here. It's not permitted to let you stay. A toilet flushes in the occupied stall. Cole's answer is loud and defiant. This is the present. This is not the past. This is not the future. This is right now. A plump businessman emerges from the occupied stall, gives Cole a wary look and a wide berth as he heads for the sink. I'm staying here. You got that? You can't stop me. Anything you say, Chief. It's none of my business. Cole looks dismayed. This guy couldn't be the voice, and there are no feet showing under the other stalls. Did he just imagine it? We again see the Chicago Bulls bag. It's on the counter in front of the ticket agent, who's reviewing a stack of tickets in awe. Woo-wee! San Francisco, New Orleans, Rio de Janeiro, Rome, Kinshasa, Karachi, Bangkok, packing? That's some trip you're taking, sir. All in 1 week? Business. Have a good one. Handing over the tickets. Cole emerges from the men's room, shaken and paranoid. He glances around nervously. Then, keeping his head down, he starts walking toward the gift shop. Before he gets more than a few steps, someone suddenly grabs his shoulder from behind. You gotta be crazy, man! Cole whirls and finds himself facing a Puerto Rican youth in an LA Raiders jacket, a sideways baseball cap, and mirrored sunglasses. Jose? Pulling out the tooth, man? That was nuts. Here, take this. Jose tries to slip Cole a 9mm pistol. Astonished, Cole resists. What? What for? Are you crazy? Frustrated, Jose conceals the gun, but keeps a grip on Cole's arm. Me? Are you kidding? You're the one. You were a hero, man. They gave you a pardon. And what do? You come back and fuck with your teeth? Wow. How did you find me? The phone call, man, the phone call. The call I just made 5 minutes ago? Yeah, 5 minutes ago, 30 years ago. Yes, that phone call. I've been in training for this a couple months now, ever since I got back from that weird war we were in. You remember that? He presses the pistol on Cole. Here, take it, man. You can still be a hero if you cooperate. Raleigh takes a travel book on Key West from a rack, considers it, includes it with several magazines she's holding. She doesn't notice Mr. Ponytail enter the gift shop behind her. The PA system drones flight info as Raleigh checks her watch and frowns. It's getting late. Where's Cole? She turns and heads for the cash register to make her purchases. Mr. Ponytail, seen from behind, is at the cash register already. He sees a newspaper on the counter and searches for change. The paper features a banner headline, Animals Set Free, and the subheading, Prominent Scientist Found Locked in Gorilla Cage, over a photo of Dr. Mason being released from the cage, and another photo of a gorilla perched atop a parked car. Stepping in line behind Mr. Ponytail, Raleigh checks her watch again. Then, Mr. Ponytail, having paid, turns to go, and Raleigh looks up to see his face, though it is not visible to us. Startled, Raleigh frowns. Does she know this man? Mr. Ponytail pauses for a moment, considering the babe in the shades, gaudy earrings, tight skirt, and high heels. Raleigh doesn't recognize the man, but we do. It's Dr. Mason's assistant, Dr. Peters, the man who attended Raleigh's lecture. Smiling, Dr. Peters steps around Raleigh and exits the gift shop. Still puzzled, she puts her purchases on the counter, and the clerk starts ringing them up as a delivery man comes in and drops a bundle of newspapers at her feet. The front page shows a photo of 3 frightened giraffes in freeway gridlock under a headline proclaiming, Terrorists Create Chaos. Further down are 2 more photos, Dr. Mason in a gorilla cage, and a file photo of Dr. Mason in his lab. Close on the shot of Dr. Mason in his lab, there's someone else in the picture. It's a man wearing a lab coat with a ponytail. Raleigh reacts, suddenly remembering. Raleigh looks up from the book she's signing and sees Dr. Peters. Isn't it obvious that Chicken Little represents the sane vision, and that Homo sapiens' motto, "Let's go shopping," is the cry of the true lunatic? Raleigh, stunned, stares in the direction Peters/Ponytail went. Oh my God! Flight 764 for San Francisco is now ready for boarding at gate 36. In the confusion of travelers streaming in different directions, Cole hurries toward the gift shop while Jose struggles to keep up. Come on, Cole, don't be an asshole. Then he blurts out, Look, I got orders, man. You know what I'm supposed to do if you don't go along? I'm supposed to shoot the lady. You got that? They said if Cole don't obey this time, Garcia, you gotta shoot his girlfriend. Cole stops in his tracks, blown away, too stunned to speak. I got no choice, man. These are my orders. Just take it, okay? Cole accepts the gun this time, resigned now. They've got him. This part isn't about the virus, is it? Hey, man. It's about obeying, about doing what you're told. They gave you a pardon, man. What do you want? Who am I supposed to shoot? Just then, Raleigh rushes up to Cole, not even noticing Jose. James, thank God. I thought you disappeared. Listen, I think I know who it is. I saw him. It's Dr. Mason's assistant, an apocalypse nut. The next flight to San Francisco leaves from gate 38. If he's there, it has to be him. Jose, having heard this, steps back into the crowd as Raleigh grabs Cole and pulls him toward the security checkpoints. I love you, Catherine. Remember that. She doesn't hear him or see the look of doom in his eyes. Maybe we can stop him. Maybe we can actually do something. A young boy of 9 passes through the magnetic arch, grinning. Young Cole, exactly as he remembers in the dream. He joins his parents, who are only visible from their chests down, as they continue along the concourse. We linger and discover 2 detectives watching travelers as they pass through the magnetic arch and retrieve their bags from the X-ray machine, comparing their faces to photos of Cole and Raleigh. A security guard watches the X-ray monitor, showing the X-ray image of the sports bag moving along the conveyor belt. The bag contains some strange objects. Excuse me, sir, would you mind letting me have a look at the contents of your bag? Dr. Peters, coming through the magnetic arch, reacts. Yes, of course, my samples. I have the appropriate papers. Raleigh and Cole arrive at the very long, suddenly stalled line of travelers waiting to pass through security. Oh God, we don't have time for this. Dr. Peters unpacks his bowls bag, pulls out 6 metal cylinders along with a change of clothes and a Walkman. Biological samples. I have the paperwork right here. Dr. Peters produces a sheaf of official papers while the security officer examines one of the tubes, turning it over in his hands. I'm going to have to ask you to open this, sir. Dr. Peters. Open it? He blinks stupidly, and then, of course. He takes the metal cylinder and starts opening it. There's a sound of raised voices behind them. Dr. Peters pays no attention, but the security guard turns toward the noise. Raleigh trying to explain something to a second security officer. The 2 detectives nearby showing interest in the commotion. Peters, oblivious to the fuss, pulling a closed glass tube out of a metal cylinder. Here, you see? Biological. Check the papers. It's all proper. I have a permit. It's empty. Indeed, it looks like a sealed clear glass tube with nothing in it. Yes, to be sure, it looks empty, but I assure you, it's not. We angle on Raleigh at the end of the line, arguing with the second security officer. Please, listen to me. This is very urgent. You'll have to get in line, ma'am. We're all in a hurry, lady. What's so special about you? Dr. Peters producing the glass tube from the other metal cylinders as the security officer examines the papers. You see? Also invisible to the naked eye. Peters grins suddenly, opens one of the glass tubes, and waves it under the security officer's nose. It doesn't even have an odor. The security officer glances up and sees what Dr. Peters is doing. He smiles as he hands the paper back to the scientist. That's not necessary, sir. Here you go. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a good flight. Hastily, Dr. Peters snatches up all the tubes and cylinders. He shoves them back into his gym bag. Raleigh is raging as the second security officer jabs her with his finger. Who are you calling a moron? Get your hands off her. We angle on the detectives watching the fuss, ready to get involved. Suddenly, the first detective frowns. Cole's mustache is slipping. Cole senses it. He reaches up to touch it and catches the detective's look. For a half second, their eyes meet. Then Cole looks away. Hold it, just a moment. Dr. Peters freezes and turns ashen. The security officer is retrieving a pair of jockey shorts from the floor beside the search table. He waves them at Dr. Peters. Dr. Peters hurries back for his underpants. Cole trying to keep his head turned away as he confronts the security officer. I said get your hands off her. She's not a criminal. She's a doctor, a psychiatrist. Rowley looks alarmed at that. The first detective has the photo in his hands. Then Dr. Peters bags his jockey shorts and starts hastily down the windowed concourse towards the gate. Suddenly spotting Dr. Peters, Rowley shouts, There he is! He's carrying a deadly virus! Stop him! Following Rowley's look and seeing the ponytail, the man from his dream, Dr. Peters, frightened, glances back and walks faster. Please, somebody stop him! The detectives reach Rowley and Cole. He raises his badge. Police officers, would you step over here, please? Cole spots something behind the detectives. Scarface, dressed like a businessman. He gives Cole a cold look. Cole lunges at the second detective, knocking him off balance, then sprints toward the magnetic arch and through it. The alarm goes off. The first security officer tries to stop Cole, but Cole knocks him aside like a rag doll. Dr. Peters, 50 yards up, glances back. Cole pulls his pistol. The security officer yells, He's got a gun! We angle on the first detective, who raises his pistol at Cole. Stop or I'll shoot! Cole, gun in hand, sprinting along the concourse towards Dr. Peters, as frightened travelers scream and dive for cover. Cole standing on a concourse window, watches a plane land, flanked by his parents, whose face we don't see. It's suddenly as if the dream is happening in real life. The same moments interspersed with new moments from young Cole, who is hearing the commotion, turns just as Dr. Peters hurries. Dr. Peters bumps into young Cole and reacts by pulling his bull's bag close to his body and calling, "Watch it!" Young Cole, wide-eyed, watching. A blond man dashing up the concourse, his mustache slipping over his lip, a pistol in his hand. The first detective aims, looking for a clear shot in the crowded passageway. A brunette in flashy clothes, gaudy earrings, high heels, sunglasses, screams, "No!" The first detective fires. Crack! The blond man shuddering, staggering, falling. Cole is stunned as his parents try to shield him. "My God, they shot that man!" Mesmerized, young Cole watches the brunette rush to the blond man, kneel beside him, and minister to his bloody wound. The blond man, fatalistically reaching up, touching the brunette's cheek, touching her tears. We've seen this exact image in Cole's dream. A powerful moment unfolding unnaturally slowly, opening like a flower. We angle on young Cole, not able to hear the words, but we can see the emotion as the blond man tries to tell the sobbing brunette something. Paramedics, breaking the spell, push the brunette aside as they crouch beside the blond man. "Come along, son. This is no place for us." As his father's arm drapes over his shoulder, steering him, young Cole turns to look back as he's led away. The paramedics, exchanging glances, shrug helplessly. It's too late. The blond man is dead. Young Cole sees the brunette, her face streaked with tears, suddenly turn and look around, scanning the crowd, searching for something. Police officers approach her, say something to her. Even as she responds, her eyes continue to scan the concourse. Young Cole being hurried toward the lobby by his parents, whose faces remain out of view. He can't help sneaking another look back. The police handcuffing a distracted, unresisting Rally. Even now, she continues to look around almost frantically. Suddenly, her gaze falls on young Cole and she reacts. She has found what she's looking for. Rally's eyes seem to speak to the boy across the crowded concourse. The young Cole is overwhelmed by the look. "Hurry up, son." With the last lingering look toward the mysterious brunette, young Cole turns away, tears welling in his eyes. We move in close and close. We want to know what the tear means, but there's no way to tell. We don't know what he's thinking, but we will know very well what he remembers. "Pretend it was just a bad dream, Jimmy." Dr. Peters closes the door to the overhead luggage rack containing his Chicago Bulls bag and takes his seat. Next to him, a fellow traveler, unseen, says, "It's obscene, all the violence, all the lunacy. Shootings, even at the airports now. You might say we're the next endangered species, human beings." Dr. Peters smiling affably, turning to his neighbor. "I think you're right, sir. I think you've hit the nail on the head." The fellow traveler, a silver-haired gentleman in a business suit, offers his hand congenially. Dr. Peters doesn't know who this man is, but we do. It's the astrophysicist. "Jones is my name. I'm in insurance." As young Cole's parents, seen only as slaves and torsos, usher young Cole into their station wagon, the boy hesitates and looks back, and watches a 747 climb into the sky. The end. Congratulations if you made it to the end. You have joined the less than 1% of viewers that ever watch an entire video on my channel. Go ahead and leave a comment below so I know that you lasted all the way until the end. Check out my other movie readings if you enjoyed this one, and as always, make sure you're still subscribed. I really appreciate the support I've been given by the community so far, and I read every comment on the channel. Thanks again, see you in the next movie reading.